Chapter 832, Blood Eagle Guard. Chapter 832, Blood Eagle Guard. This armor is so solid and resilient, yet so light. Putting on the gold armor, Jian Wushuang was surprised at how light it was. Now, follow me to our camp. The beautiful lady led the 1,000 new recruits to the camp of the Royal Guard. The camp was located outside the imperial palace of the Tang of the East. It covered a large area and was heavily guarded. When Jian Wushuang and the others arrived, the first thing they saw was a huge barracks. Inside, they could see several soldiers wearing the same gold armor. Just as they were about to enter the barracks, phew, 3 red lights ignored the restrictions and flew directly into the barracks from above. The soldiers in the barracks all looked at the lights with reverence. It's the Blood Eagle Guards. A new recruit standing next to Jian Wushuang cried out excitedly, "Blood Eagle Guards." Jian Wushuang looked at the recruit. "Brother, what's a Blood Eagle Guard?" Hearing their conversation, several nearby recruits looked toward them with interest. Most of the new recruits only knew that the Royal Guard was the most elite army in the Tang of the East. They had never heard of the Blood Eagle Guard. Nothing about the Blood Eagle Guard had been mentioned in any of the information Jian Wushuang had read about the Tang of the East. Blood Eagle Guard belongs to Royal Guard and is called as its sharpest claw. The recruit beside Jian Wushuang explained to them, and his eyes betrayed his fever. All of you must know that the Royal Guard is the strongest and most elite army in our country, but in fact, there are 2 types of soldiers in the troop. The first is called the Dragon Guard, responsible for the public security inside and outside the Imperial Palace. 99% of soldiers in the Royal Guard belong to this group, and us new members will join them as well. The second type is called the Blood Eagle Guard, and they act as a special organization in our troop. A special organization? Jian Wushuang and the others were puzzled. The recruit explained further. If members of the Dragon Guard are all elites, the members of the Blood Eagle Guard are the elites of the elites. They are in charge of the dangerous and secret missions for the Imperial House. For example, assassinating families in the Tang of the East, secretly wiping out strong experts, and also protecting some of the most powerful people in our country, those secretly who hold special positions. I see. Jian Wushuang and the others could not help gasping in admiration. The Dragon Guard was only responsible for public security, therefore their lives would be easier and more comfortable. The Blood Eagle Guard had to hide in the dark to carry out a variety of special and dangerous tasks. In short, the Dragon Guard was public and the Blood Eagle Guard was secret. It was clear that the latter faced more danger, because most of the tasks the Blood Eagle Guard has to accomplish are quite dangerous. Only the really powerful are qualified to join. As far as I know, to be one of them, one has to be above step 4 of the Eternal Realm, said the recruit. What? Jian Wushuang was amazed. To become a member of the Blood Eagle Guard, one has to be above step 4 of the Eternal Realm. Do you know how many people there are in the Blood Eagle Guard? Jian Wushuang asked out of curiosity. He wanted to know how many people were in the Blood Eagle Guard, as its standard was so high. I don't know the exact number, but the estimated number should be more than 1,000, the recruit answered. Even with such a high bar, there are still more than 1,000 people in the Blood Eagle Guard. Jian Wushuang secretly admired the Tang of the East. It was indeed a powerful country. I also heard that the remuneration the Blood Eagle Guard offers to its members is far above that of the Dragon Guard. The recruit continued. Many experts from the Dragon Guard want to join the Blood Eagle Guard, but they are unqualified. The remuneration the Dragon Guard offers is better. Jian Wushuang remained indifferent. He was not interested in money, What he cared about was the dangerous missions the Blood Eagle Guard carried out. In comparison to the Blood Eagle Guard, the Dragon Guard was only responsible for the public security of the Imperial Palace. Life would be too comfortable for Jian Wushuang. That was not what he wanted. Soon, led by the beautiful lady, Jian Wushuang and the other new recruits entered the barracks and were later assigned to numerous small teams. Jian Wushuang and 7 other people were assigned to a normal team of 10 members. To Jian Wushuang's surprise, he and the recruit who had introduced the Blood Eagle Guard to him were on the same team. "Ha, brother, it seems that fate has brought us together again. What's your name?" The recruit, a lean man, asked Jian Wushuang with a grin. "Blood Mountain. What's your name?" Jian Wushuang replied flatly. "My name is Ouyang Su, from the Ouyang clan," he replied with a smile. "From the Ouyang clan?" Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. There were many ancient families in the Tang of the East. Since Ouyang Su was from one of them, it was not surprising that he knew so much about the Blood Eagle Guard. "Let's go. Our team is in front of us, and our captain must have been waiting for us for a while," said Ouyang Su. "Waiting for us? Why?" Jian Wushuang asked, puzzled. "I've heard from my family elders that life in the Royal Guard seems to be comfortable, but in fact, it doesn't forbid internal conflict." Ouyang Su replied, "Power speaks loudest in the Royal Guard. Do you really think that the old members will be that welcoming?" "Is that so?" Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. A moment later, when Jian Wushuang and the 7 other new recruits arrived at their camp, just as Ouyang Su had said, their captain and 2 old members were waiting for them. "Haha, after waiting for so long, you guys are finally here. Finally, I have someone to practice my skills with. I've had enough of practicing with the captain." The 2 older members looked at Jian Wushuang and the other new recruits with great interest. As for their captain, he was sitting at a table with a wine gourd in his hand, glancing at them occasionally. From the man's aura, they could tell that though he was only the captain of a small team, he was in the eternal realm and very powerful. Chapter 833, The Duel. Chapter 833, The Duel. This was the kind of army the Royal Guard was. Even the captain of a 10-soldier squad was an eternal realm expert. The captains of the 100-soldier squads had to be step 3 or 4 eternal realm experts. As for the captains of the 1,000-soldier squads, it was said that the weakest ones were the top step 5 eternal realm and even step 6 eternal realm experts. The Royal Guard was indeed full of experts. Even if Jian Wushuang showed all his power, he would barely be able to be captain of a 1,000-soldier squad. And in higher rankings, there were many people in charge of tens of thousands of soldiers, such as commanders. "Hey guys, from this moment on, we're one team. How about we introduce ourselves to each other first?" A triangular-eyed old soldier said with a smile. "Introduce ourselves? How?" asked Jian Wushuang. "By using our power, of course." The man sneered and continued, "It's been just the 2 of us and the captain for several years. Now, you guys have finally joined us. How can we not communicate closely with you?" Jian Wushuang and the other new recruits felt excited. Some of them looked full of expectation. As new recruits, they were looking forward to exchanging moves with the experienced older soldiers. "Don't get too excited. It won't be just a casual battle. We need to make a wager first," the man continued. "The duel starts." Ouyang Su raised his eyebrows. "Wager? Duel." Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. "Come on, one by one. Each of you has to have at least one fight with us," the man continued with a sneer. The new recruits looked at each other with a frown. One of them walked forward and asked the man, "How much you want to bet?" Not much, just 200,000 divine gems, he answered casually. What? The new recruit was startled. 200,000 divine gems. Normally, a superior divine realm expert's total assets were only about 100,000 divine gems. The amount he wanted was too much. Well, it's only 200,000 divine gems. You can't afford it, the man asked, staring at the recruit. Of course, I can, but the recruit muttered. He hesitated. Well then, what are you waiting for? Come on, take them out. Considering that you are a new recruit, you can choose any one of us as your opponent, including the captain, the triangular-eyed man said in a contemptuous manner. The new recruit changed his expression slightly. He had spotted the man's disdain and was enraged by it. He nodded heavily. Then, I choose you? You want to fight against me? Very good. The man grinned. In no time, the two came to blows. Both of them were divine realm experts. The new recruit had to be powerful to have been able to join the royal guard. However, after they had exchanged several moves. Clang, clang, clang. A series of fierce clashes sounded. It was a close battle at first, but after several minutes, the triangular-eyed man suddenly launched a powerful attack and defeated the new recruit. How could this be? The new recruit could not believe that he had lost. He had clearly felt that he was about to win, but then he lost. If I lost, I lost. The new recruit took out 200,000 divine gems, handed them to the man, and walked back to his companions bitterly. Haha, let's move on. Who's next? The man smiled wildly. Standing among the new recruits, Jian Wushuang secretly shook his head. He could tell that the old soldier had deliberately hidden his power. He had restrained his power at first to relax the new soldier's vigilance, and then suddenly launched a surprisingly powerful attack to defeat him. This man wants to cheat more new recruits to win their divine gems. These old soldiers were specially selected into the royal guard and have spent a rather long time in the army. They are much more powerful than most superior divine realm experts, and can even battle a few top divine realm experts. Moreover, their magic weapons are better than others. Jian Wushuang gasped secretly in admiration. He could tell that the weapon the man used was an eternal weapon, which earned him a great advantage. The man had hidden his power in order to win more divine gems in the following battles. Next, the triangular-eyed man let out a laugh of joy when he defeated the second challenger and won another 150,000 divine gems. The duels continued. Each of the 8 new recruits had to fight with the old soldiers at least once, and they also had to offer a bet of no less than 100,000 divine gems. After a few rounds, the triangular-eyed man had won nearly 1,000,000 divine gems. Jian Wushuang and Ouyang Su were the only two who had not fought yet. Haha, who's next? Hurry! The old soldier urged the recruits. Ouyang Su walked up to him with a frown. Kid, how much are you going to bet? The man asked Ouyang Su. 1,000,000 divine gems. Ouyang Su answered directly. Oh, the triangular-eyed man was surprised. The other new recruits stared at Ouyang Su. The old soldier had won 6 rounds. By now, all the new recruits knew that he had been deliberately hiding his power. Ouyang Su must have known this as well, but all the same, he offered 1,000,000 divine gems as a bet. He had to be confident about his power. Is this boy a top divine realm expert? The man's face grew serious. Every time the royal guard recruited new members, there were at least a few top divine realm experts among the recruits. This time, among the 1,000 new recruits, about 100 of them were top divine realm experts. It was possible that some of them were the new members of his team. Thinking of this, his confidence was swayed. He turned to the man beside him with a grin. 1,000,000 divine gems is too much for me. I can't afford it. Xiezi, you're much richer than me and can probably afford it. I'll leave this boy to you. Chapter 834, 8 million divine gems. Chapter 834, 8 million divine gems. The other man, Xiezi, had not battled any of the new recruits yet. Upon hearing the triangular-eyed man's words, he raised his head and walked over. Jian Wushuang suddenly got a feeling that he was much stronger than his companion. He might even be a top divine realm expert. Ouyang Su frowned at the man. He shared Jian Wushuang's feeling, but he was still confident in his own power and not afraid. I accept your bet. Let's fight. Xiezi said to Ouyang Su in an icy voice. Ouyang Su snorted. He twisted his hands, and 2 giant hammers appeared. The hammers were gleaming a bronze light with a powerful aura. 2 high-level eternal weapons. Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. Ouyang Su is indeed from a large wealthy family, with a rich background. Ouyang Su made his move. He struck out fiercely with the 2 giant hammers as he moved forward. One strike after another, the hammers overwhelmed their target like a mountain. Ouyang Su attacked without leaving a chance for his opponent to even take a breath. Xiezi used a sharp cyan saber. He was dodging around swiftly, like a ghost. None of Ouyang Su's strikes managed to hit him. Xiezi suddenly struck out. A dazzling blade light flashed in the air. Ouyang Su was not expecting this and got hit. He was unable to launch an attack. How could this be? Ouyang Su could not believe that he had been defeated. He had completely suppressed Xiezi first. How could he be defeated in a single sudden strike? Jian Wushuang, who had been watching from the side, shook his head. Ouyang Su is powerful and can match a top divine realm expert. Xiezi is a top divine realm expert himself. However, Xiezi is more experienced at fighting. Jian Wushuang had an eye like a hawk. He could see everything. Having lost the battle, Ouyang Su paid the wager and returned reluctantly to his companions. After Ouyang Su had been defeated, the triangular-eyed man came forward again and looked at Jian Wushuang. "Ha, boy, you are last. Stand up." Ouyang Su and the other 6 recruits could not help looking at Jian Wushuang. Under their watchful eyes, Jian Wushuang remained indifferent. He slowly stepped out and walked forward. He glanced at the triangular-eyed man and shook his head. "I'm not interested in fighting with you." "Oh." The man smirked, unbothered, and turned to Xiezi. "Xiezi, he wants to battle you." Xiezi frowned and was about to come over again. "Sorry, I am not interested in him either." Jian Wushuang shook his head again. Xiezi stopped in his tracks. The triangular-eyed man looked at Jian Wushuang in amazement. "Who is this boy interested in? Is it me that you want to battle?" A cold voice suddenly echoed. It came from the elegant man who had been drinking alone at the table. "Captain," the triangular-eyed man, and Xiezi looked at him. "I've heard that both the Divine Realm experts and the Eternal Realm experts in the Royal Guard are elites. I've learned the power of the Divine Realm experts, so I really want to know how powerful the Eternal Realm experts can be," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. "You want to challenge me?" The captain glanced at Jian Wushuang and leaped across the table. He came up to him and said in a low voice, "To fight with me, you must wager 2 million divine gems." 2 million? Everyone was amazed. 2 million. Jian Wushuang shook his head with a smile and continued, 2 million divine gems is not enough. Not enough. The captain appeared surprised. 8 million divine gems, at least, plus all the divine gems the other recruits have lost to you 3, Jian Wushuang said. 8 million? A few of the recruits were startled by the number. For a divine realm expert, 8 million divine gems was simply an astronomical number. Even for many Eternal Realm experts, it was too much. This guy, his face fell. Although he was only the captain of a small team, he had had several opportunities to earn divine gems, but still he had about 10 million divine gems in total. The amount Jian Wushuang wanted was too much for him. Kid, can you afford 8 million divine gems? He stared coldly at Jian Wushuang. There are 10 million divine gems in this interspatial ring. You can check it yourself. Jian Wushuang took out an interspatial ring. The interspatial ring had not been bound, so others could check it using their consciousness. After a simple check, everyone present indeed found 10 million divine gems inside. He actually has it. The elegant man's expression turned strange. The man did not know that although Jian Wushuang was only a divine realm expert, he had had an unusual experience. After Jian Wushuang killed Xia Yan and got his ring, he was much richer than even a Dao master. 10 million divine gems was not a problem for him. He could afford 100 million divine gems, let alone 10 million. Kid, what is your name? The elegant man suddenly asked him. Blood Mountain. Jian Wushuang answered. Blood Mountain. The captain was wrapped in thought. Among the 1,000 recruits, there is only one person, Asura, in Step 4 of the Eternal Realm. As for the rest of them, the strongest one should be at the same level as me, and I've never heard of a man named Blood Mountain. This boy dares to offer 8 million divine gems as a bet to fight with me. He must be confident about his power. Seeing his hesitation, Jian Wushuang showed a meaningful smile. What? You're afraid that you'll lose to me, Captain? Hearing this, the triangular-eyed man and Xiezi shut their mouths tight, not daring to say a word. The man's face darkened, but in the next moment, he had made up his mind. Aside from Asura, I don't believe there is another Step 4 of the Eternal Realm expert in the new recruits. I'll take the bet. Chapter 835. I lost. Chapter 835. I lost. Upon hearing the captain's answer, Jian Wushuang showed a meaningful smile. Blood Mountain. Ouyang Su, standing next to Jian Wushuang, and the other new recruits all looked at him. Don't worry. Jian Wushuang smiled at them and went forward. On the open ground, Jian Wushuang and the captain stood several meters apart, facing each other. Jian Wushuang held the Emperor's sword in his hands. The captain had a long gold spear in his hand. He was radiating a powerful aura. Make your move. Jian Wushuang looked at ease. Humph, you're being too arrogant. He snorted before stomping hard on the ground. Boom. Immediately, there was a crack where he had stomped. He approached Jian Wushuang and thrust at him with his spear. The spear spiraled under the strong force. The wager was too high. He dared not to take Jian Wushuang slightly. When he shot, he used all his strength. The second level of the spear heart, he should have displayed a secret technique to improve his strike to the third level. Jian Wushuang smiled when he saw the man strike. As a captain of a 10-soldier squad, it was admirable that he had gained the power of Step 3 of the Eternal Realm. Among the Divine Realm experts, few could gain the power of Step 3. Talented as Asura was, he had only gained the power of Step 4. However, for Jian Wushuang, such a power was nothing to fear. The long gold spear struck out like a snake coming at its prey, with a strong strangling power behind it. It was a meter away from Jian Wushuang. Why didn't he make his move? The captain stared at Jian Wushuang, surprised that he seemed to have no intention of fighting back. He even thought Jian Wushuang was too scared to move, or that he had no time to react. He was about to draw his spear back. Suddenly, Jian Wushuang's sword struck out. It seemed an ordinary strike, simple and neat, slashing toward the man. The sword collided with the spear. There was a crashing sound and sparks in the air. Jian Wushuang twisted both his hands, sending his sword forward in a strange way. Clang! Another crashing sound, and the captain's spear was knocked out of his hand. How is this possible? The captain's eyes were full of horror. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Casually, he tapped him with his sword. The captain was immediately thrown dozens of meters backwards before regaining his balance. He had a rather complicated look on his face when he rose to his feet. Everyone stared at Jian Wushuang in horror. The captain had lost. Lost in less than a minute. You lost. Jian Wushuang smiled at the captain. You lost. Give me 8 million divine gems, and return the gems the three of you won from the new recruits. The captain trembled, biting his teeth. He took out an interspatial ring and threw it at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang caught the ring and nodded after a simple check. He turned to the triangular-eyed man. Where are the gems you two won? Both the triangular-eyed man and Xie Zi had an unwilling look, but thinking of Jian Wushuang's formidable power, they surrendered. They gave all the divine gems they had won from the new recruits to Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang returned them to Ouyang Su and the other recruits. Blood Mountain, thank you. Thank you. The recruits thanked Jian Wushuang from the bottom of their hearts. After all, those divine gems had been half of everything they possessed. They would have been heartbroken if they really lost them. Luckily, Jian Wushuang had won the divine gems back for them. Jian Wushuang showed a casual smile at their gratitude. The next moment, he suddenly looked toward the void beside them. Sir, you have been watching us for a while. It's time to show yourself. Jian Wushuang's voice echoed away. Ouyang Su and the others immediately looked in the same direction, following Jian Wushuang's voice. A figure immediately rushed out the void and landed in front of them. It's him. Seeing the newcomer, Ouyang Su and the other recruits were surprised. Anyone who had participated in the selection of the Royal Guard would not forget this face. Asura, the most impressive expert in the selection. Is that Asura? The captain and 2 old soldiers also looked at the newcomer. Dressed in a red robe, with a huge axe on his back, Asura stared at Jian Wushuang with a ferocious aura. It seems that I'm right. Asura spoke up. What do you mean? Jian Wushuang looked at him in confusion. The last time we met was in the selection battle. You were the only one who managed to take my blow. Ever since, I knew that you're just as powerful as me, and I just watched how you battled your captain, and I'm even more certain, Asura explained. So what? Jian Wushuang smiled. I am a born warrior. My favorite thing is to challenge strong experts, especially geniuses who are at the same level as me. Asura's voice was indifferent. My biggest wish has been to defeat Xia Yan, the #1 divine realm expert in the eternal world. But several days ago, I heard that he was killed outside the Circus Island. On hearing this, Jian Wushuang could not help but touch his nose. He had been the one to kill Xia Yan. Asura, you want to fight with me? Jian Wushuang then asked. Yes, but I wonder if you are willing to accept my challenge. Asura answered. Well, as you wish, let's fight. Jian Wushuang remained impassive. It was normal for warlike people to challenge the top talents or strong people at the same level as themselves. Jian Wushuang was the same. Moreover, Asura was really powerful. Jian Wushuang was not sure he could defeat him unless he transformed into an ancient god and used his Blood Mountain sword. Despite this, he decided not to do so in the following battle. I want to know how strong I can be without transforming into an ancient god, Jian Wushuang murmured in secret. As Jian Wushuang accepted Asura's challenge, Asura's eyes became sharp and an overwhelming battle intent shot up high from inside him. Jian Wushuang was also filled with battle intent. Chapter 836, Asura. Chapter 836, Asura. Both Jian Wushuang's and Asura's battle intent reached a peak. A sliver of light flashed within their eyes almost at the same time. Swish, swish. They suddenly disappeared from where they were standing. Where have they gone? Ouyang Su and the others were watching them attentively. The next moment, clang, a loud noise echoed in the center of the battlefield. A dazzling sword light and a towering axe collided together. The power of his sword heart reached a peak in his sea of consciousness. Jian Wushuang had given full play to the Star River secret skill and increased his offensive power 33 times. However, he did not gain the upper hand. He merely blocked Asura's strike. With a hint of ardor in his eyes, Asura glanced at Jian Wushuang and snorted coldly. Then he struck again. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Every time he moved, there were axe shadows. They looked as if they could break mountains and crush experts in step 3 of the Eternal Realm. In just a short period of time, he had launched at least a dozen strikes. He was suppressing his opponent with pure power. You want to play tough? I'm not afraid of you. Jian Wushuang was not afraid at all. Asura's axe heart had reached level 4, a level higher than Jian Wushuang's sword heart. However, by displaying the Star River secret skill, Jian Wushuang had increased his offensive power 33 times. Relying on his secret skill, Asura could only increase his by 10. That was Jian Wushuang's advantage. Moreover, because of the heavenly creation skill, he was more powerful than ordinary experts. A battle of strength. He was not afraid. Jian Wushuang met the axe shadows with his longsword. It was a fierce battle of pure power. Clang, 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 clang. There were dozens of loud noises in succession, meaning that the two had exchanged dozens of moves in a short time. And with every sound, a blast wave swept toward the surroundings. I'm right. Your power is not weaker than mine. Since that's the case, take my 3 strongest moves. Asura roared. His muscles bulged, and his right arm grew a size bigger. He was holding his axe. Your 3 strongest moves. Jian Wushuang looked serious. He knew that Asura was going to display his best moves. The first move, Sky Splitter. Asura looked cold. He held up his axe with his right hand. Terrifying power was gathering in it. The next moment, the giant axe struck out. Axe shadows smashed toward Jian Wushuang. As soon as the axe shadow appeared, it seemed to have split the sky into 2 parts. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He struck out his Emperor sword. He displayed the first move of Boundless Heaven sword art, the Annihilation sword move. Bang! With a loud bang. They both fell backward at the same time. Let's continue. Asura's eyes sparkled as he raised the giant axe again. Second move, Earth Splitter. Another axe shadow struck out, cracking the ground. Obviously, it was more powerful than the previous one. Jian Wushuang instantly performed the second move of the Boundless Heaven sword art, the demon-slaying sword move. Bang! Jian Wushuang fell back several steps, but Asura was thrown straight back. After regaining his balance, Asura had a stronger battle intent in his eyes. Ha! I didn't expect that after my second move, I'd still be at a disadvantage. For that, you must take my third move. This time, Asura raised his axe with both hands. a more overwhelming power gathered in them. He attacked. It was a strike that looked like it could destroy the world. Jian Wushuang was extremely careful as he displayed the strongest move of the boundless heaven sword art he had mastered. The third move, Red Shade Sword move. It became a battle of pure power again. With a deafening sound, the void seemed to explode completely. This time, Jian Wushuang was thrown back like a shooting star. He even had a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. As for Asura, he fell back rolling, and it took great effort for him to regain his balance. His face was extremely pale. This. Blood Mountain can fight with Asura. Is he really that strong? He wasn't that impressive in the previous selection, was he? The onlookers were stunned. The recruits exchanged looks of disbelief. The three old soldiers, especially the captain who had fought with Jian Wushuang before, were in shock. It was obvious that both Jian Wushuang and Asura were powerful beyond his imagination. Even after Asura had displayed his three strongest moves, the battle was still in a draw. There was no need for them to continue fighting. Blood Mountain. Asura looked at Jian Wushuang with frenzied eyes. You are really strong. I'm fortunate to have been able to fight with you before joining the Blood Eagle Guard. Blood Eagle Guard? The words aroused Jian Wushuang's interest. Are you saying you're going to join the Blood Eagle Guard? Yes. Asura nodded. I participated in the selection of the Royal Guard in order to join the Blood Eagle Guard. It is a place for the strong, while the Dragon Guard, it is a place for the weak. Whether you can join the Blood Eagle Guard is not up to you, is it? Asked Jian Wushuang. Of course, but I have broken through the military pagoda, the Blood Eagle Guard, set up for challengers, and there is no problem with my identity. So, it's certain that I can join. Asura was confident. Oh, Jian Wushuang was starting to understand better. Asura's words show that he has a good knowledge of the Blood Eagle Guard. He knows how to join the Blood Eagle Guard, and he is quite confident in himself. Blood Mountain, you're no weaker than me. I could pass the test set by the Blood Eagle Guard. So could you. Aren't you going to try? Asura asked him. Does the test you mentioned refer to the military pagoda? Jian Wushuang responded with a question. Yes. Asura nodded. There are a total of 11 floors in the military pagoda. If you pass through the first 9 floors, you'll meet the requirements to join the Blood Eagle Guard. If you want to try it, I can take you there. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. The Blood Eagle Guard was the elite of the elite, and just as Asura had said, it was a place for the strong. The Dragon Guard was for the weak. Jian Wushuang was longing to join the Blood Eagle Guard. Chapter 837, Breaking Through the Military Pagoda. Chapter 837, Breaking Through the Military Pagoda. I'll seize every chance to join the Blood Eagle Guard. I want to try in the military pagoda. Could you show me the way? Come with me then. Asura consented. Jian Wushuang explained his plan to Ouyang Xian and the others and followed Asura to the military pagoda. The Blood Eagle Guard was a special organization in the Royal Guard, the elite of the elite. To join, first one had to be powerful. The Royal Guard had specially set up the military pagoda to test the challenger's power. The Black Pagoda stood towering in the center of the barracks. Here it is. Asura led Jian Wushuang to the front door of the pagoda. The test in this tower is very unusual, but it should not be a problem for you to make it to the 9th floor. Once you succeed, you can apply to join the Blood Eagle Guard. I see, thanks. Jian Wushuang nodded. Go on then, Asura said. Without hesitation, Jian Wushuang strode into the Black Tower. He arrived on the 1st floor. This floor was a wide ground made of special materials, very hard, and in the center stood a cold figure. At a glance, Jian Wushuang could tell it was a puppet fighter. The moment Jian Wushuang went in, the puppet fighter immediately opened his eyes and started speaking. Challenger, you only need to hold up under my attacks for half an hour. Then you can enter the next floor. Half an hour? Jian Wushuang repeated. Let's begin. Without another word, the puppet fighter made his move. Whoosh! The puppet fighter crossed 60 meters in one step, striking out his saber at the same time. The blade light went straight for Jian Wushuang. Well, Jian Wushuang had a rather strange look. He could tell that the puppet fighter was in step 3, but not powerful. He could defeat him directly, let alone holding on for half an hour under his attacks. It is not difficult to pass the first floor of this military pagoda, Jian Wushuang thought to himself. He defended himself casually without beating down the puppet fighter. When half an hour had passed, the puppet fighter immediately stopped attacking and let Jian Wushuang pass to the second floor. Walking along the stairs, Jian Wushuang came to the second floor of the tower. Same as the first floor, the second floor was also a large ground, and his opponents were at the same level as the puppet fighter on the first floor. The only difference was that there were 2 puppet fighters waiting for him. It was the same on the third floor, only there were 4 puppet fighters. On the fourth floor, there were 8 puppet fighters, and so on. Jian Wushuang was so powerful that even though he had not transformed into an ancient god, he still overpowered the puppet fighters regardless of how high the floor was or how many more puppet fighters he encountered. Before long, he reached the 9th floor of the tower. The puppet fighters on that floor were in step 3 as well, and there were 256 of them in total. The puppet fighters joined hands to attack Jian Wushuang. They worked together well. Normal step for Eternal Realm experts would barely be able to hold on for half an hour. However, Jian Wushuang was extraordinarily powerful and good at dealing with joint attacks. Back when he was in the Ancient God clan, he had gained a lot of experience in fighting against joint attacks. Jian Wushuang looked at ease as he fought with the 256 puppet fighters. Soon, half an hour had passed. He passed through the 9th floor. On the 10th floor, he encountered 512 puppet fighters. Heavily outnumbered, Jian Wushuang could not fight as leisurely as before. He was suppressed by the puppet fighters and struggled for half an hour. Finally, he passed through the 10th floor. As for the 11th floor, since Jian Wushuang did not intend to turn into an ancient god, it was impossible for him to pass it. In just a few moments, he was defeated, and his challenge ended. He walked out of the tower. How did it go? Asura immediately asked him. Not bad. I made it to the 10th floor. Jian Wushuang answered with a smile. What? The 10th floor? Asura was surprised. He looked at Jian Wushuang in amazement. He had only made it to the 9th floor and failed to pass the 10th after a moment of struggling. He was surprised that Jian Wushuang was at the same level as him, but had made it further than him in the tower. Asura, I have passed the 10th floor and met the requirements for joining the Blood Eagle Guard. What should I do next? Jian Wushuang asked. Soon, the Blood Eagle Guard will know that you have broken through the 10th floor. Someone will come to find you and ask if you want to join the Blood Eagle Guard. If you say yes, they will ask you some questions, and you will give them your basic information. After they check and confirm it, they will let you join, Asura replied. Is it that simple? Jian Wushuang frowned hard. According to what he had heard from Ouyang Su before, the Blood Eagle Guard standards were very high. However, now it seemed that it was not that high. Of course, it's not that simple. Asura continued. To join the Blood Eagle Guard, first you have to be powerful. Generally, you have to have reached step 4. Another requirement is regarding your identity. Identity. Jian Wushuang was confused. The Blood Eagle Guard is a very special organization. They carry out missions for the royal families, and many of the missions are about the internal conflicts between those families. Therefore, they have to act in secret. Naturally, they have some special requirements regarding the identities of their members. Asura immediately started explaining. Chapter 838, Investigation. Chapter 838, Investigation. Anyone who has been against the Tang of the East or is in conflict with the royal families, such as experts from the other 3 countries, will be excluded first. Those who come from the clans or have a close relationship with the clans will be excluded next. And finally, those whose identities remain unknown and can't be tracked will be excluded as well. Any of the above can't join the Blood Eagle Guard. After saying that, Asura was silent. He looked at Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang also pondered silently. He understood that the Blood Eagle Guard dealt with the royal family's secret matters, and the clans might be their targets. As a result, no one from the clans could join. It was the same for experts from other countries. As for the last type, the unidentifiable people, Jian Wushuang belonged to this group of excluded people. Blood Mountain was an alias. If they actually checked into it, they would find that this person did not exist. That's to say, if I want to join the Blood Eagle Guard, I have to tell them my real name. Jian Wushuang's brow furrowed slightly. Blood Mountain, you looked worried. Are you one of the 3 types of people? Asura spotted Jian Wushuang's worry. To tell you the truth, Jian Wushuang replied, I'm not from the clans, nor the 3 big countries. But I have a grudge against a large force in the Tang of the East, so I can't tell others my real name or it might cause trouble. Well, Asura looked at Jian Wushuang with a smile. Don't worry about that. As long as what you have done will not endanger the royal families, the Blood Eagle Guard will not care about it. Moreover, they will keep your secret from others. Really? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. I'm sure of this because I have a feud against a big clan in the Tang of the East as well. But as long as I will not endanger the royal family, the Blood Eagle Guard will accept me all the same. They will definitely keep secrets for me and will never let it out. This is a rule that has continued since its creation. This rule is as unshakable as iron, and no one can change it, not even His Majesty. Asura smiled. If that's the case, I don't need to worry anymore. Jian Wushuang was relieved. He had been worried that if he told the Blood Eagle Guard his real name, the Xia clan would find out and come to take revenge. Now, it seemed that his concern was unnecessary. Just as Asura had said, not long after Jian Wushuang passed through the 10th floor of the military pagoda, a scarlet-robed elder came to find him. The elder held a token from the Blood Eagle Guard, which confirmed his identity. Blood Mountain, I just learned that you have passed through the 10th floor of the military pagoda, so I came here to ask you if you're willing to join the Blood Eagle Guard. The elder asked indifferently. Of course, I am. Jian Wushuang nodded. Record your name, background, and experiences in this token, and I will bring it back to the commander for investigation. If you pass the investigation, I will come to take you to the Blood Eagle Guards camp in person. The elder handed him a token. Jian Wushuang did what he had been told. Before he gave the token back to the elder, a restriction appeared on the token, locking his information. The Blood Eagle Guard really does do a good job in guarding secrets. Jian Wushuang nodded secretly and felt more assured. Please wait in your camp. You will receive our answer in a few days. After saying this, the elder left with the token. For the next few days, Jian Wushuang stayed in his camp waiting. Meanwhile, the elder submitted the information on Jian Wushuang and Asura to the Supreme Commander. There were several commanders in the Dragon Guard, and all of them were top Step 6 of the Eternal Realm experts. In the Blood Eagle Guard, however, there was only one commander, and he was a Diao master. The Diao master's last name was Hong. Therefore, the experts in the Tang of the East addressed him as Commander Hong or Master Hong. Blood Eagle Guard was the royal family's sharpest weapon, and each of its 1,000 members was a rare talent. Most importantly, to join the Blood Eagle Guard, one's information had to be reviewed by this commander first. After receiving the applications from Jian Wushuang and Asura, Commander Hong had some people track both of their backgrounds in person. It only took a day. In a scarlet palace, a handsome and indifferent 2-meter-tall man wearing a red cloak was carefully reading the 2 reports he had just received. The first report was about Asura. It turns out that Asura is the survivor of the Evil Bay clan, the man the Dongyan clan has been hunting for. The Dongyan clan has a deep background in the Tang of the East. They were very well prepared when they wiped the Bay clan from this country. However, Asura somehow still escaped from their hands. Over the years, the Dongyan clan has tried hard to kill him, but he, on the contrary, has grown stronger through the hardships. He has now become a Step 4 expert and applied to join the Blood Eagle Guard. Commander Hong sighed in secret as he read the report. A moment later, he turned to read the information on Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang. As soon as he started reading the report, he could not help but widen his eyes. This boy is even more amazing. He is the guy the deadly Xia clan is looking for. In the blood battle arena of the Circus Island, he wounded Xia Yan with 3 strikes. Then, when he was on his way back, alone, Xia Yan tracked him with 2 guards at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm all the way to the sea. There, they had a secret fight. The others only knew that Xia Yan and his 2 guards were killed. Chapter 839, Blood Eagle Armor. Chapter 839, Blood Eagle Armor. All of them were killed. The second master of the Xia clan had a high status, so he should have had some special life-saving tricks. But it says that Xia Yan used his life-saving item, but was still killed by Jian Wushuang. As Commander Hong read the information, he could not help but sigh. The Xia clan was considered a magnate in the Tang of the East. Even the Imperial House of Tang of the East was in awe of it. Jian Wushuang had killed Xia Yan. It was terrible enough to provoke the Xia clan. However, both Blood Mountain and Asura, their origins are clear. Although they have a great grudge against the Xia and Dongyan clans, it has nothing to do with the Imperial House, so they're acceptable. Commander Hong carefully checked the information about the 2 candidates, and then ordered, "Accept Blood Mountain and Asura." The scarlet-robed elder, who had met Jian Wushuang, set out to pick up the 2 men. 3 figures rushed across the azure sky. Jian Wushuang and Asura followed the elder with a flicker of expectation in their hearts. They had learned about the Blood Eagle Guard, but they had never actually been there before. The scarlet-robed elder led them into an ancient forest. They crossed several restrictions before they finally saw a large military camp. This was the Blood Eagle Guard's secret hideaway. Instead of tents, they had built numerous towering residences and courtyards. In the Blood Eagle Guard's lair, each Blood Eagle Guard had his own mansion or courtyard. The scarlet-robed elder landed on the ground with Jian Wushuang and Asura. "Here you are, your ID tokens." The scarlet-robed elder handed a bronze token to each of them. The scarlet tokens were engraved with a lifelike bloody eagle. They looked very mighty and domineering. This token certifies your identity as a Blood Eagle Guard, but unless it is absolutely critical, don't expose your identity while doing a task outside. Understand, said the scarlet-robed elder. Okay. Jian Wushuang and Asura both nodded. They quickly received the tokens and then used their blood to bind them. Both of you have just joined the Blood Eagle Guard, so I will give you a brief introduction of our organization. The scarlet-robed elder started talking about it as he walked forward with the newcomers. Since both of you are from the Royal Guard, you have definitely heard a lot about the Blood Eagle Guard, so I don't need to talk more about what the Blood Eagle Guard is responsible for. I'd like to tell you some rules. First of all, the Blood Eagle Guard has a rigid hierarchy. Blood Eagle Guards are divided into 3 levels: 1 clawed, 2 clawed, and 3 clawed. More claws means higher level, so 3 clawed Blood Eagle Guards rank highest among our guards. From 1 claw to 3 claw, Jian Wushuang was surprised. When he was still in the ancient world, there were golden dragon guards in the Tianzong dynasty, whose ranks were marked by claw. However, Blood Eagle Guards and Golden Dragon Guards were completely different. The scarlet-robed elder continued, "You have just joined and have not yet accepted any tasks, so it is natural that both of you are 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guards. In the future, once you've accepted enough tasks and obtained brilliant battle achievements, you'll be promoted to 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guards. In addition, the Blood Eagle Guard belongs to the Royal Guard, but our treatment is completely different from Dragon Guards. The Blood Eagle Guard is a trump card for the Imperial House, so we're more important than ordinary Dragon Guards. Each Blood Eagle Guard can receive the best training from the Imperial House. In addition to privileges, you can enjoy 3 types of special treatment after joining the Blood Eagle Guard." 3 types of special treatment. Jian Wushuang thought with a hint of expectation. The first is the Blood Eagle armor, the scarlet-robed elder said as he waved his hand. 2 scarlet suits of armor embroidered with a Blood Eagle pattern appeared in front of them. Armor? Jian Wushuang frowned. A suit of armor is regarded as superb treatment. First you bind it to yourself and then put it on. The scarlet-robed elder did not explain much. Jian Wushuang and Asura followed his order without hesitation. After binding it to himself, Jian Wushuang immediately perceived its peculiarity. Jian Wushuang put on his Blood Eagle armor and clearly sensed that this armor had the incredible defensive ability, much better than the gold dragon armor that he had obtained in the Royal Guard. This armor was not only useful for defense, it also improved offensive power. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang clenched his right fist, and explosive force was transmitted from the armor. Obviously, his strength had improved. How is that possible? Jian Wushuang thought in shock. Armor that can actually enhance the offensive power. It was no surprise that the armor had defensive capabilities. Extremely high-level armor could have heaven-defying defensive power. However, Jian Wushuang had never heard of armor being able to help increase offensive power. "It looks like you both feel it." The scarlet-robed elder smiled when he saw their shock. The reason the Blood Eagle armor is considered one of the 3 types of special treatment is that it not only has powerful defensibility, it also helps increase its owner's offensive power. Only the Imperial House of Tang of the East possesses Blood Eagle armors. Each piece of armor is implanted with a special restriction at a huge price. When you launch an attack, the inside restriction will be activated to greatly improve your offensive power. Of course, both of you are just 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guards, and what you get is first-rank armor. If you progress to 2-clawed or 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards, you will gain the 2nd-rank or 3rd-rank armor. Then your offensive power will be even greater. From what I understand, the 3rd-rank armor can help double a person's offensive power. Chapter 840 Yin-Yang Mirror. Chapter 840 Yin-Yang Mirror. Double. Jian Wushuang and Asura were astonished. They didn't know how strong the third-rank armor was, but wearing the first-rank armor now, they already felt that their strength had improved significantly. The scarlet-robed elder said, "Only Blood Eagle guards have Blood Eagle armor. The special restriction on a piece of Blood Eagle armor only allows one person to bind it. That is to say, even if an outsider were to kill a Blood Eagle guard and gain his Blood Eagle armor, they would be unable to bind it again. It's useless for them." Oh, Jian Wushuang and Asura looked at each other with a flicker of surprise in their eyes. "Well, now I will take you to the treasure vault of the Blood Eagle Guard, which is the second type of special treatment," the elder said. After a while, they arrived in front of a pavilion. The pavilion looked ordinary, but it was heavily guarded. There are countless treasures in the treasure vault. The royal guard has a treasure vault as well, but it is not comparable to ours. Many treasures in the treasure vault belong to the imperial house's collection. As for treasure quality, few in the eternal world can match this treasure vault. "Go have a look," the elder said. Jian Wushuang and Asura stepped into the pavilion without hesitation. However, at first glance, Jian Wushuang did not see any treasure. All he saw was darkness. As he was wondering about it, a strange voice suddenly echoed. "Blood Mountain, I'm the spirit of the treasure vault. There are countless treasures here. You can tell me what you need, and I will give you a list of treasures that meet your requirements." The voice sounded like a baby. "Spirit," Jian Wushuang was surprised. He did not expect that the treasure vault itself was a treasure with intelligence. Jian Wushuang asked, "I want to know, how do we pay for treasures? Divine gems?" "You can use divine gems, but the value will be much higher. In normal cases, the treasures in the treasure vault are traded for points, which can be obtained by completing tasks. You've just entered the Blood Eagle Guard and haven't accepted any tasks yet, so your current points level is 0. You can only pay with divine gems," the spirit of the treasure vault replied. Jian Wushuang shrugged and said, "I need a treasure or secret skill that can help me hide my aura so that even powerful eternal realm experts or Dao masters can't see through my real realm." Jian Wushuang was only a divine realm expert, but he was very powerful. If his strength erupted, he was strong enough to challenge experts at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm. Furthermore, he was still far from reaching his limit, so he would be stronger in the future. For a divine realm expert to have such a strength was incredible. Xia Yan had been known as the #1 divine realm expert in the eternal world, but his battle strength had barely reached Step 5, far inferior to Jian Wushuang. Being powerful was a good thing. Nevertheless, Jian Wushuang was so strong that he might inevitably attract others' attention, or even be targeted by wicked people. Therefore, he needed a treasure or secret skill that hid his aura completely. There are 5 treasures that meet your requirements. This is a list of the 5 treasures with detailed information. The spirit of the treasure vault's voice sounded in his heart before a streak of flowing light rushed toward him. A list of treasures appeared in his hand. Jian Wushuang immediately read it. The 5 treasures were comprised of 3 specially made magic tools and 2 high-level secret skills that could hide aura perfectly. Wow, the 5 treasures can really hide the aura, Jian Wushuang thought with a hint of joy in his eyes. This secret skill is nice. It has the lowest price among the 5 treasures and is relatively easy to learn, but it could only fool an ordinary Dao master at most. More powerful experts will see through it. Jian Wushuang shook his head slightly and started to read the information on the second one. This treasure has the same function as the first one. Jian Wushuang scrutinized the information on the first 3 treasures, but he was not satisfied. When he saw the 4th treasure, his eyes lit up. The fourth one was called the Yin-Yang mirror. It could transform its owner's aura, like their spiritual power aura or bloodline aura. It could help a divine realm expert disguise himself as an eternal realm expert. Aided by a Yin-Yang mirror, an eternal realm expert could disguise himself as a divine realm expert perfectly. After the transformation, even a top Diao master could not see through it if he did not check carefully. Perfect transformation of the aura. Jian Wushuang was delighted. The Yin-Yang mirror could not only hide his realm, but also his bloodline aura. When he turned into an ancient god, he had to activate the bloodline power. It produced a dense bloodline aura that others could recognize easily. With the Yin-Yang mirror, his ancient god bloodline would not be exposed. Even a superior Dao master is unable to see through it if he doesn't look carefully. Jian Wushuang gripped his hands. He looked at the required points. 10,000 points. Too expensive. Jian Wushuang sucked in a breath of cold air. The most expensive of the first 3 treasures was only valued at 2,000 points. However, the Yin-Yang mirror required 10,000 points. 10,000 points. How many divine gems would I have to pay? He asked. You can exchange 10,000 divine gems for 1 point. For 10,000 points, you need 100 million divine gems, the treasure vault spirit replied. 100 million? Jian Wushuang touched his nose. 100 million divine gems was not a small sum, but Jian Wushuang was clear that the Yin-Yang mirror was of great importance to him. He took a deep breath before nodding solemnly. 100 million divine gems. I'll take the Yin-Yang mirror. Chapter 841, The Divine Sea. Chapter 841, The Divine Sea. In the treasure vault, Jian Wushuang had paid 100 million divine gems for this item. Not long after, he received the Yin-Yang mirror and blended it into his body. He had gained the treasure he wanted most, so he didn't stay. He turned around and left straight away. The scarlet-robed elder and Asura had been waiting outside for him. How is it going? The scarlet-robed elder asked, looking at the boy. Not bad. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. What you received in the treasure vault is your second special treatment as a Blood Eagle guard. What I'll give you next is the third special treatment, which is also the most appealing one of the 3. The Divine Sea. The scarlet-robed elder became more serious. The Divine Sea? Jian Wushuang seemed puzzled about it, but Shura could not help but clench his fists while hearing the 2 words. Finally, Asura's eyes brimmed with excitement. Asura, it looks like you've heard about it before. The scarlet-robed elder looked over at Asura with interest. Right. Shura nodded. I've heard of it. The Divine Sea is equivalent to a kind of fortune. Any Blood Eagle guard is allowed to enter it for free and stay for a month. After 1 month, no matter who you are, your strength will make a big breakthrough. Big breakthrough. Jian Wushuang was intrigued. The scarlet-robed elder smiled, and then slowly started to explain. You are right, this Divine Sea is a sort of fortune. Blood Eagle guards enjoy 3 special treatments. In fact, the Divine Sea is the most important and valuable. Tang of the East used every resource to build the Divine Sea. It was built at a huge cost. In the Tang of the East, there are not many people qualified to enter the Divine Sea. Blood Eagle guards are, after all, one of the trump cards of the Imperial House. Therefore, any Blood Eagle guard is entitled to stay in the Divine Sea for 1 month. Don't underestimate this month. In normal cases, if a Blood Eagle guard wants to stay there for a month, he has to pay a large sum of money. This sum is much more than all the possessions of an expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm. It truly is an astronomical sum. In that month, ordinary Blood Eagle guards will make great progress in their strength. Some powerful experts could gain even more in that month. Only divine realm experts like you can enter the Blood Eagle Guard. With such talent, you could certainly make unimaginable gains in the divine sea. Hearing this, Asura's eyes shone with eagerness. Jian Wushuang knew nothing about divine sea before, but now the elder's introduction had ignited his expectations. He did not expect that the Blood Eagle Guard would offer such a great opportunity. If ordinary Blood Eagle guards will make great progress in 1 month, how much progress could I make? Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang's eyes sparkled with excitement. Under the guidance of the scarlet-robed elder, Jian Wushuang and Asura came to a wormhole. This wormhole links to the divine sea. I've already sent a message to the commander. This wormhole will open soon. Make sure to make the most of your month there. As for how much you improve, that will depend on your own luck, the elder said. Jian Wushuang and Asura nodded. They certainly would not miss such a rare opportunity. It was not long before the wormhole opened. Jian Wushuang and Asura immediately stepped into it and were headed straight into the divine sea. Buzz. The light flashed. Then Jian Wushuang appeared over the vast sea. Jian Wushuang stood in the void, taking in the scene from above. He saw a splendid sea with scarlet water, full of a rich, bloody smell. This was a blood sea. The blood was bubbled and rolled continuously, and an immense vapor was rising. This is the greatly auspicious divine sea. Jian Wushuang frowned. With the naked eye, he could see how peculiar this sea was. I wonder how the imperial house of Tang of the East made this blood sea. Anyway, I don't care as long as it can greatly improve my strength. Jian Wushuang took a slight breath and glided straight into the divine sea. The moment he entered the sea, he sensed a scalding energy surging toward him. The energy was incomparably mild, as if his mother embraced him, and then it gradually poured into his body through his pores. Jian Wushuang could not help but shiver. He sensed the peculiarity of the scalding energy, stimulating his 8 extraordinary meridians, bones, joints, and even his pores. It even rushed into his sea of consciousness to nourish his sword heart. This feels so good. Jian Wushuang relaxed. He knew that the scalding energy did not cause any harm to his body, and that it was actually nourishing him. His sword heart and body were starting to be enhanced. His affinity for world Diao and slaughter Diao also improved greatly, which surprised him the most. His enlightenment of Diao was advancing at an amazing speed. He was making rapid progress in every respect without using much effort. In addition, his comprehension abilities seemed to be infinitely magnified at this moment. Unbelievable! The divine sea is incredible. Jian Wushuang widened his eyes in shock. He was not clear about how the divine sea was made, but after he had really experienced it, he was certain that this divine sea promoted great fortune. Jian Wushuang used his mind to call his slaughter body, and it appeared next to him. The 2 original bodies, not wanting to waste a second, began their cultivation. Chapter 842, Soaring Strength. Chapter 842, Soaring Strength. To say that cultivation in the divine sea yielded twice the result with half the effort was an understatement. Jian Wushuang's 2 original bodies worked separately. The world body concentrated on the 3 secret skills of the ancient god, while the slaughter body studied the boundless heaven sword art. Soaking in the scalding energy, his sword heart and body were naturally elevated. At the other end of the divine sea, Asura was also completely immersed in his cultivation. The seconds and minutes passed by. For Jian Wushuang and his silently increasing strength, the 1-month cultivation finished in the blink of an eye. When his time ran out, a huge wave emerged in the divine sea and instantly swallowed him before he had time to react. When he opened his eyes again, he had already appeared outside the wormhole. 1 month, did it pass so soon? Jian Wushuang sighed with regret, but at the same time, he was delighted. The 1-month cultivation was a great fortune for Jian Wushuang. He had made great progress. His sword heart had reached the peak of level 3 under the 1-month nourishment, and he was just a step away from reaching level 4. Notably, Jian Wushuang had not long entered level 3 either. He had thought that it would take him dozens of years to reach the peak, but in the divine sea, it only took him 1 month. The sword heart had greatly improved, so he was able to activate more of its power. His swordsmanship had also improved. His body had also strengthened massively, and he became tougher and more powerful. The effect was just like that of the immortality secret skill he had continuously used to cultivate his physical strength. Within a month, he had reached the peak of armor technique, and his body was now superior to that of most Eternal Realm experts. If he turned into an ancient god, his body would be more terrifying. Over the past month, he had not spent too much time on Dao enlightenment, so his world Dao and slaughter Dao did not make a big improvement. Jian Wushuang's greatest progress was that he had mastered more secret skills. Like the Star River secret skill, he had reached level 13 and 14 over the past month, so now if he used his full strength, his strength would increase by 42 times. 42 times. Compared with ordinary warriors, whose strength was improved by 10 times, his strength was improved 32 times more than theirs. What a huge advantage. He also made a new breakthrough in the Boundless Heaven sword art. In just 1 month, he had truly made amazing progress in the Divine Sea. His strength soared. Before entering the Divine Sea, even though I turned into an ancient god and tried my best to activate the Blood Mountain sword, I was only able to grapple with ordinary experts at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm. But now my strength has improved greatly. Even without my Blood Mountain sword, I could now defeat them with ease. If I used the Blood Mountain sword, very few experts at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm could match me. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists and sensed his strength with a flicker of joy in his eyes. Blood Mountain. A frosty voice was heard before Asura was seen approaching. He had just come out of the Divine Sea. Jian Wushuang was shocked at the sight of him. He could see that Asura had undergone great changes, particularly in the aura emanating from his body. His previously recognizable divine realm aura had turned into an overwhelming Eternal Realm aura. Obviously, Asura had made a breakthrough in the Divine Sea. Congratulations. Jian Wushuang smiled. Haha, the same as you. Asura shrugged and said with a smile on his face. HRM, right. Jian Wushuang touched his nose. Since he left the Divine Sea, he had activated the Yin-Yang mirror to transform his aura. Now he was exuding Eternal Realm aura, and had also reached the Eternal Realm level. Therefore, Asura thought that Jian Wushuang had broken into the Eternal Realm just as he did. In fact, Jian Wushuang was still just a Divine Realm expert. Have both of you come out? A voice rang out, and the scarlet-robed elder landed in front of them. The elder smiled at the two boys and asked, How do you feel? I feel very good. I thought that it would take some time for me to make it to the Eternal Realm, but aided by the Divine Sea, I've made a breakthrough and improved greatly in many respects, Asura said earnestly. So did I. Jian Wushuang responded with a faint smile. Both of you can go to the Divine Sea once for free, but it will be difficult to enter it again, the elder sighed. What do I need to do if I want to go there again? Asked Jian Wushuang. Indeed, He wanted to spend another stint in a place like the Divine Sea. 100,000 points, and it can only be paid in points, not divine gems, the elder replied. 100,000. Jian Wushuang was astonished. In the treasure vault, he only needed to exchange 10,000 points for the unique Yin-Yang mirror. 100,000 points could be exchanged for 10 treasures equivalent to the Yin-Yang mirror. It was equal to 1 billion divine gems, almost comparable to the Dao Master's entire possessions. In the Blood Eagle Guard, to complete a relatively simple task, you can get 1,000 or 2,000 points. For more difficult tasks, you can receive 4,000 or 5,000 points. But for most Blood Eagle Guards, even if they saved for tens of thousands of years, they could not afford 100,000 points. The elder shook his head with a smile. But there is another way. The Divine Sea is exotic, but it also has some flaws. Firstly, it costs too much. An ordinary Blood Eagle Guard would have to spend an astronomical sum to spend 1 month cultivating in there. Chapter 843, The Death Level Task. Chapter 843, The Death Level Task. Besides, the Divine Sea is only useful to the warriors below the Dao Master level. Powerful Dao Masters can gain almost nothing there. Even if they have been practicing in there for several years, the scarlet-robed elder said. Oh. Jian Wushuang nodded secretly, but immediately asked with curiosity, Right, so the Divine Sea is really special, but who made it? Its creator is our mysterious national master. The elder replied. He not only invented the Divine Sea, but also the Blood Eagle armor. National master? Jian Wushuang was surprised. He had just arrived in the Tang of the East, so he knew little about it. He only knew of its founder Tang Emperor and the 4 other emperors of the Golden Age. He had not heard of this mysterious national master character before. It is said that National Master, with his extraordinary origin, has incredible skills and high status in the Tang of the East. Even the current ruler Empress Leng is particularly respectful to him. The elder said. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned. Not only did he create the Blood Eagle armor and the Divine Sea, this national master even earned the respect of Empress Leng. Where did this national master come from? Well, I've given you your 3rd special treatment. Now, I'll take you to your residence. You can go by yourselves to the Eagle Hall, where you can undertake and submit tasks. After the elder led Jian Wushuang and Asura each to their own living quarters, he waved and left. 3 days passed. In these 3 days, Jian Wushuang had had a new understanding of life inside the Blood Eagle Guard lair. The Blood Eagle Guard had a strict hierarchy, with very little crossover. Many Blood Eagle Guards had the same repetitive life for months on end, taking a task, completing it, and handing it in. Of course, after completing the task, they would obtain the corresponding points which they exchanged for treasures in the treasure vault to improve their strength. In addition, the points for completing the task would continue to accumulate. When their points reached the threshold, the Blood Eagle Guards would get a promotion. For example, once a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard had completed enough tasks, and his points reached the level of a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, he would naturally become a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. The higher the level, the greater authority a Blood Eagle Guard had. Then they would have higher level tasks and encounter more powerful experts. I'm only a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, the lowest rank. According to my current status, the highest level of tasks that I can reach is a death level task with limited opponents. If I want to meet Leng Wushuang as soon as possible, I have to climb as fast as I can. The higher I reach, the greater chance I have. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. He had made up his mind. Let's start. That same day, Jian Wushuang went to the Eagle Hall to undertake a task. The first task he received was a death-level task. The Eagle Hall was huge. There were many tables in the hall. Many Blood Eagle guards were sitting in bloody eagle armor, gathered in twos or threes, casually chatting and drinking. Jian Wushuang sat in a corner, drinking alone. Blood Mountain. Asura walked over, sat down in front of him, and then picked up a wine cup. I heard that you've taken a task today. Asura looked at Jian Wushuang. Yeah, I did. Jian Wushuang nodded. What level? Asked Asura. Death level, Jian Wushuang replied in a flat, toneless voice. Uffed. Asura spat out the wine he had just drunk. Blood Mountain, what did you say? You took death level task? Asura ignored his own gaffe and stared at Jian Wushuang. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded again. Are you going to look for someone to help you? Asked Asura. Many tasks in the Eagle Hall could not be completed alone. It was necessary for several or even more Blood Eagle guards to work together. Jian Wushuang said coldly, No, I'll deal with it alone. Asura looked at this boy in shock. He would carry out the death level task alone. The tasks issued by the Eagle Hall were divided into 5 levels: general level, difficulty level, death level, catastrophe level, and hell level. The highest level task a one-clawed Blood Eagle guard could undertake was a death level task, but in most cases, the death level task was carried out by a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard and several 1-clawed Blood Eagle guards. To complete the death level mission alone, only extremely confident 2-clawed Blood Eagle guards dared to do so. Jian Wushuang was a 1-clawed Blood Eagle guard and still a fresh recruit. The newcomer, I heard that he has only just made a breakthrough to the eternal realm in the Divine Sea, and he has taken on death level task. He is really courting death. A death level task? TSK. To complete this level of task, he needs the step 6 strength, at least. Even a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard wouldn't dare take it. When he joined the Blood Eagle Guard, he was only a Divine Realm expert and should have had step 4 battle strength. It's amazing indeed. After 1 month cultivation in the Divine Sea, his strength has risen sharply, and he made the breakthrough to the Eternal Realm. I guess he must already have reached step 5, or even peak step 5 by now, but he is still not qualified to finish a death level task alone. Haha, he is so confident. What can you do? Confident? I think it's stupid. Many Blood Eagle guards glanced at Jian Wushuang from time to time with all kinds of emotions in their eyes. Some laughed at him, some gloated over his insanity, some only sighed with complicated feelings. But no matter what these people thought of it, Jian Wushuang had already taken on this death level task. Blood Mountain, do you need my help? Asura threw him a solemn glance. Although Asura was not very close friends with Jian Wushuang, they joined the Blood Eagle Guards together, so he would try his best to help him if he needed it. No, it's okay. Jian Wushuang looked gratefully at Asura and said nothing else. After drinking a few cups of wine, Jian Wushuang set off. Chapter 844, Promotion. Chapter 844, Promotion. In the Yin-Yang Prefecture, one of the 36 prefectures of Tang of the East, there was a huge mansion in the center of a city. The mansion's owner was called Master Han. He was powerful, with a great reputation throughout the prefecture. Under the dim moonlight, a figure in a scarlet cloak appeared in the void near this huge mansion. This scarlet cloak had been transformed from Blood Eagle armor, and its owner, naturally, was Jian Wushuang. He stood in the void and took out his task scroll. There are a total of 10 targets, each of whom is an expert at step 6 of the Eternal Realm. I only need to think of a way to kill 3 of them. Then my mission is done. Jian Wushuang clenched his fists. It was extremely difficult to kill experts at 6 steps of the Eternal Realm, but Jian Wushuang had to kill 3 such experts by himself. The so-called Master Han in this mansion is not weak, but his life-saving ability is not good. I do have an opportunity to kill him. As he thought, Jian Wushuang turned over his hand, and in it appeared his Emperor's sword. At the same time, he had activated his bloodline power and instantly turned into a 15-meter-tall, gold-armored ancient god. Now his terrible, irrepressible aura spread out, causing commotion around him. Who is that? A burst of shots rang out from the mansion. First, I'll use the Emperor's sword to grapple with him for a while, and then use the Blood Mountain sword to kill him, Jian Wushuang thought, his eyes sparkling with killing intent. Kill! He shouted, and then glided toward the huge mansion. Soon, a terrible battle broke out. After a month's cultivation in the Divine Sea, Jian Wushuang had improved dramatically. Even without the Blood Mountain sword, he was powerful enough to fight against an expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm, like now. With his swordsmanship, Jian Wushuang had managed to keep Master Han down right from the beginning. After fighting for a while, he had the advantage. Then he easily killed his mighty opponent with his Blood Mountain sword. After finishing the first target, Jian Wushuang immediately headed for his second one. A month later, when Jian Wushuang in Blood Eagle armor appeared in the Eagle Hall, the other Blood Eagle guards could not help but stare at him. That Blood Mountain. I heard that he took the death level mission alone. How is it going now? Not bad. He's managed to survive. As for the task, let's see how it goes. In any case, the time limit for a task is generally very long. He can wait until he gets stronger in the future. But our rule is that if a task has not been done, there is no way for him to take other tasks, right? It's true, but who is to blame for this? He can only blame himself for being too arrogant. Even though they were very quiet, Jian Wushuang clearly heard the surge of jeering voices. Jian Wushuang ignored them and walked straight to the counter. I'm here to submit my task, Jian Wushuang said indifferently. What? Submit his task? Did I hear correctly? Did he say he will submit his task and not abandon it? He's here to submit the task, which must mean he has already finished his death level task. The other Blood Eagle guards were shocked. Jian Wushuang quickly submitted the mission. After receiving the corresponding points for the mission, he took the second death level task and left. It caused a commotion in the Eagle Hall. Really? Is this for real? Blood Mountain actually finished a death level mission alone, and it only took him a month? 1 month. How is it possible? Even a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard is unable to complete a death level task in just 1 month, right? Maybe it's luck. These Blood Eagle guards marveled at this. But Jian Wushuang did not care at all what these guys thought of him. He immediately went to carry out the second death level mission, and like just before, by himself. Autumn arrived. It had been a year since Jian Wushuang joined the Blood Eagle Guard. Over the past year, Jian Wushuang had taken on 3 death level tasks by himself. It was difficult for an ordinary 2-clawed Blood Eagle guards to complete a death level task. If he carried it out alone, there was a 50% probability that he would make it, and it was still fraught with danger. However, it was easy as pie for Jian Wushuang. The 3 death level missions were completed by him alone. Each death level task was accompanied by rich rewards. After he completed all 3 missions, he had enough points to become a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard. Therefore, Jian Wushuang was naturally promoted to 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard. His status and authority had greatly improved. When he was only a 1-clawed Blood Eagle guard, the highest level of task he could take on was only death level. However, now, as a 2-clawed Blood Eagle guard, he was able to take on catastrophe level tasks. Jian Wushuang carried on this way for a while, taking on a task, completing it, and handing it over. He had still taken on death-level tasks, but now he had to deal with harder and more demanding death-level tasks, and he still carried out them alone. What was more, he still had an astounding completion rate. Of course, some tasks were great challenges for him. Sometimes it took him several years to achieve a goal, and several times he was even put in danger after something unexpected had happened. But in the end, Jian Wushuang kept his head and turned the tables by using his skills. Time passed by as Jian Wushuang continued his crazy task escapade. Before he knew it, Jian Wushuang had been a Blood Eagle Guard for 15 years. Chapter 845, The Three-Clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Chapter 845, The Three-Clawed Blood Eagle Guard. In the center of a long mountain range was the headquarters of a clan. Although the clan was weak, it had deep foundations. At this moment, the mountains were almost in ruins, with a large number of pits in them. Numerous buildings had collapsed, while countless corpses were spread everywhere. The ground was dyed with blood, which looked extremely dazzling in the dark. Jian Wushuang was standing quietly in the void, wearing a scarlet cloak and with his hands behind his back. Not long after, a blonde elder came over and said respectfully, "Sir, as you ordered, the Luo clan and its core disciples have been killed. From tonight, there is no Luo clan in the Tang of the East." Good. Jian Wushuang stared at the gruesome scene without any compassion. The Luo clan was a supporter of a top clan of the Tang of the East. They had committed a lot of sinful crimes in private, so they were far from innocent. Except for their ordinary clansmen of low status, the core disciples of the Luo clan should indeed have been killed. The Luo clan has been destroyed. I have spent 3 full years on this task, and it's finally over. Jian Wushuang sighed. Now, my points should meet the threshold for me to become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, right? That night, Jian Wushuang sorted through his war spoils and then returned to the Blood Eagle Guard lair that very night. In the Eagle Hall, a few Blood Eagle Guards gathered in 2s and 3s. Did you hear? Blood Mountain actually finished a catastrophe-level mission alone. Catastrophe level? How is it possible? It's true. He has submitted the task here today. Many people saw it clearly. The good man. It has been only 15 years since Blood Mountain joined us, right? But what has he been doing over these past 15 years? He's been accepting tasks, madly accepting tasks. He always took them alone and completed them. He has now finished 14 death-level tasks. Of the 14 death-level missions, there are 6 simple tasks worth 5,000 points and 8 difficult ones worth 8,000 points. And now, he has actually completed a catastrophe-level task alone. Oh my God! Madman, he is totally insane. He is really crazy, a terrible madman. The other Blood Eagle Guards marveled. They were stupefied. They sighed in admiration. When Jian Wushuang first accepted the first death-level mission and was about to carry it out alone, the other Blood Eagle Guards all sneered at him and made fun of him. They did not think much of him. But it only ended up taking him a month to complete the death-level task by himself. At that time, the other Blood Eagle Guards still had some doubts about his strength and thought that it was good luck. However, Jian Wushuang had finished 3 death-level missions in his first year and got a promotion to a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. So finally, they believed in his strength. It was possible to complete a death-level task alone, with some luck, but finishing 3 tasks alone within a year was not due to luck. Over the past 15 years, Jian Wushuang had crazily accepted one task after the next that terrified the other Blood Eagle Guards, but in the end, he had succeeded. Now he had completed a catastrophe-level task alone. That was catastrophe level. Generally, It was hard for 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards to finish a catastrophe-level task alone, but Jian Wushuang had made it. Jian Wushuang had proved his strength. The other Blood Eagle guards regarded Jian Wushuang with admiration and awe. He has finished so many death-level missions and received all the points. Now he has completed a catastrophe-level mission alone and gained more points. So his total points must have reached the requirement for 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard, right? Well, according to the points, he has achieved it indeed. We only have 17 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards. It seems that we'll soon have the 18th one. Blood Mountain is rising so fast. Too fast. His progress is really fast. Blood Mountain is really a monster. Many Blood Eagle guards marveled at his performance, while in the towering Blood Palace, Commander Hong stood on the steps with his hands behind his back. He also received the message that Jian Wushuang had completed a catastrophe-level task alone. No one below peak of Step 6 could hope to finish disaster-level tasks, but Jian Wushuang has done it. Commander Hong sighed to himself. Jian Wushuang defeated Xia Yan when he was a Divine Realm expert, so his battle strength should be above Step 5 of the Eternal Realm. After joining the Blood Eagle Guard, he broke through into the Eternal Realm. He benefited a lot from the Divine Sea. I thought that his battle strength had barely reached Step 6, so I did not expect that he would improve at such a ridiculous speed. 15 years, even considering his many training opportunities and many treasures from the treasure vault, it is still incredible for him to have made so much progress in 15 years. This boy is a real monster. In the history of my Blood Eagle Guard, there has never been such a peerless genius. Even in the entire Eternal World, there are only a few. As far as I know, the only one that is stronger than him is the big young master of the Xia clan. After a few rueful words, he sent a message straight to Commander Hong, ordering him to send the 3rd-rank armor to Jian Wushuang. From now on, the young man is a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Commander Hong smiled faintly. Suddenly, Commander Hong turned his hand and took out a token. From that token came a message. After seeing the message, Commander Hong, who had been in a good mood, became solemn. Order all 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards who are currently on their missions to stop immediately and return to the lair. Chapter 846, Emergency Meeting. Chapter 846, Emergency Meeting. Sir, this is your armor. A scarlet-robed elder handed a new set of Blood Eagle armor to Jian Wushuang in his residence. The scarlet-robed elder knew Jian Wushuang from when he led him and Shura into the Blood Eagle Guard. He had also heard about him from his 3rd special treatment. At that time, the scarlet-robed elder had treated Jian Wushuang casually. However, now he became extremely respectful to the boy. He had to. Jian Wushuang was now a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, second only to Commander Hong. So the scarlet-robed elder and the 1-claw and 2-claw Blood Eagle Guards had to address him as Sir. 3rd-rank armor. Seeing this scarlet armor with a bloody eagle pattern, Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. Not only did the Blood Eagle armor have a strong defensive capability, but it also greatly improved its owner's offensive power. When Jian Wushuang was still a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, his 1st-rank armor only improved his offensive power by about 20%. Then, when he was promoted to a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, his offensive power increased by 50% with the 2nd-rank armor. Now, he had become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, so he was qualified to own a set of 3rd-rank armor. Jian Wushuang quickly put on the armor. As he clenched his fists, the terrifying strength broke out. This force was amplified by the armor's restriction, and no less than doubled in an instant. Sure enough, it's doubled. Jian Wushuang's eyes shone with excitement. Doubled. It was not like the double effect of the Star River secret skill. The Star River secret skill was a power amplification secret skill. If Jian Wushuang employed this skill, his strength would be improved but limited to his own level, the divine realm. Therefore, even if Jian Wushuang had mastered level 15 of Star River secret skill, and his offensive power was tripled, his overall strength would not have improved greatly. However, this Blood Eagle armor was able to help him enhance the power of all his skills, which meant that his overall strength doubled. Amazing! My strength has also improved a lot over my 15 years in the Blood Eagle Guard. Now that I have this third-rank armor, my overall strength will be upgraded to a new level. Now, I don't have to be afraid of anyone I meet except Dao Masters. Jian Wushuang thought while clenching his fists. The news Jian Wushuang had received a third-rank armor and became a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard soon spread throughout the lair. Jian Wushuang and Shura sat together by a table near the wall of the Eagle Hall, drinking and chatting. Jian Wushuang's frantic task-taking over the past 15 years was known to all. Asura, who had joined the Blood Eagle Guard with Jian Wushuang, also performed well, but he was far inferior to him. Asura had not gained enough points, so he was still a 1-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, and there was still a certain way to go before he was a 2-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Blood Mountain, have you heard of it? A few days ago, the commander personally ordered all the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards to come back, including those who were carrying out tasks. Shura whispered. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. Yeah, I've heard of it. Commander Hong had urgently summoned 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards back, which caused an uproar throughout the entire lair. So naturally, Jian Wushuang had heard of it. Aside from you, there are 17 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards here, who I have never met before. It's said that most of them have been performing secret missions outside, and rarely return to our lair. I wonder, why did the commander actually ask them back in such a hurry? Shura sighed. Jian Wushuang was also curious. 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards were the experts at the peak of Step 6, so each had incomparable strength. Their tasks were certainly very important, but now Commander Hong had made 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards leave their tasks and rush back, so it was definitely because of something extraordinary. While Jian Wushuang was deep in thought, an ordinary Blood Eagle Guard walked inside and bowed to him respectfully. Sir, the commander ordered you to meet him immediately. The commander wants to meet me. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes, drank up the wine, and then left. The towering Scarlet Palace was entirely covered by a powerful restriction, so no one was able to break in without permission. The handsome, indifferent man Commander Hong in a scarlet cloak sat majestically on the largest throne at the front of the palace. More than 2 meters tall, he looked down at the crowd of figures congregated in the middle of the hall. Jian Wushuang was also standing among the crowd. These guys, Jian Wushuang, looked around indifferently at the surrounding figures. Each one of these had a mighty aura, making him feel a lot of pressure. There were quite a few, exactly 17 in total. They must be the 17 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards. And with me, that makes 18. Jian Wushuang thought. When he looked around, Jian Wushuang noticed that they glanced at him from time to time. Gentlemen, most of you were undertaking tasks outside. After receiving my messages, you immediately came back. Thank you. After some courtesy words, Commander Hong continued. Right, this is Blood Mountain. He joined us 15 years ago and is also a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. Let's welcome him. The other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards immediately turned to look at Jian Wushuang, but did not say anything. Jian Wushuang responded with a slight nod. Well, let's get down to business. The reason I'm so anxious to call you back this time is this. Commander Hong took out a scroll as he spoke. This scroll had the same shape and size as a regular one. The only difference was the color. The scroll was entirely scarlet, as if it were dyed with blood. The Scarlet Task Scroll. The 18 three-clawed blood eagle guards, including Jian Wushuang, were completely shocked. The task scrolls released by the Eagle Hall had different colors representing different task levels. For example, the catastrophe level task that Jian Wushuang had finished several days ago was printed on a jet black scroll. The Scarlet Scroll meant the level of the task was Hell Level. Chapter 847. Hell Level. Chapter 847. Hell Level. Hell Level. It's actually a Hell Level task. No wonder the commander urgently called us back. The palace was in turmoil. Blood Eagle Guards tasks were divided into 5 levels: General Level, Difficulty Level, Death Level, Catastrophe Level, and Hell Level. In normal cases, a Catastrophe Level task was performed by a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. A more difficult Catastrophe Level task required several 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards to deal with it. The Hell Level tasks were harder than Catastrophe Level tasks, and were considered the ultimate mission. In the Blood Eagle Guard, the Hell Level task was almost legendary. It was rare to encounter a Hell Level mission. Sometimes there was not even one for thousands of years. The Hell Level tasks were hard beyond the ability of Eternal Realm experts. Even if top 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards accepted such a task, they would face a deathly crisis. And sometimes death was even certain. They were horrific tasks. The 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards would even go pale with terror when they learned of their tasks. Hell Level mission. I haven't received it, but I've heard of it. Since the Blood Eagle Guard was set up in Tang of the East, there have been 4 Hell Level tasks. A 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard clenched his hands and said with a solemn look, 5 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards took the first Hell Level task, they all got killed, and the mission failed. Only 2 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards accepted the second Hell Level mission. In the end, one died, and the other survived because of Doppelganger's secret skill, but was seriously injured. They failed. As for the third Hell Level mission, as many as 11 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards set out, but only 2 of them survived by the skin of their teeth. Luckily, they finished the task. 8 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards carried out the 4th Hell Level mission, but the moment they arrived at the destination, they were exposed and all killed by a Diao Master. Hell Level tasks usually involve Diao Masters. Of the 4 Hell Level missions in our history, only one was barely completed, while the other 3 ended in failure. Each time they went to perform the Hell Level task, most of them died. Now, we are facing the 5th Hell Level mission of the Blood Eagle Guard. The 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards looked up at the Scarlet Scroll with a grim look. Jian Wushuang had just joined the Blood Eagle Guard, so he was not familiar with this Hell Level mission, but he was still shaken after hearing what the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard said. Of the 4 Hell Levels in Blood Eagle Guard history, only one was completed, and the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard who completed them ended up in a miserable state. There was no doubt that the Hell Level tasks were extremely terrifying. Gentlemen, you are all aware of how dangerous Hell Level tasks are. But since there is a task to be done, someone has to take the risk. Go and fight, and seek wealth in the danger. Although this mission will be dangerous, you will certainly gain a lot if it's done. Just for completing this mission, you will be rewarded with 300,000 points. And there will be many extra rewards from Empress Leng. Commander Heng's voice echoed through the palace. Upon hearing this, some 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards' eyes lit up. 300,000 points was a huge sum of money. Generally, a difficult catastrophe level task in the Eagle Hall was valued at 10,000 to 20,000 points at most. 300,000 points were comparable to gains from a dozen catastrophe level tasks. In addition to this, Empress Leng would offer extra rewards. Who was Empress Leng? She was the real ruler of the Tang of the East. As one of the 4 emperors in the heyday of the Tang of the East, she was the absolute supreme expert. Her extra reward, even if it was just a casual reward, it was precious enough to make them go crazy. "Commander, what does this hell-level task involve?" a 3-clawed blood eagle guard asked, unable to hold back his excitement. "As for what it involves," Commander Hong shrugged. "Although I have the hell-level task scroll in my hand, I'm not clear about it. I only know that Empress Leng, the ruler of the Tang of the East, personally released it, and that it's related to Her Majesty the Princess." Upon hearing this, 2 of the 3-clawed blood eagle guards raised their heads at the same time. One was a young man who looked somewhat pale. When he heard Her Majesty the Princess, his eyes sparkled with eagerness. The other person, naturally, was Jian Wushuang. Her Majesty the Princess? Jian Wushuang's face fell. There was only one princess of the Tang of the East, and that was Leng Wushuang. This hell-level task is related to Leng Wushuang. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He was unable to keep calm at the thought of it. If he were faced with other dangerous hell-level missions, Jian Wushuang would consider it for a while. However, if this task had something to do with Leng Wushuang, he would take it without hesitation. "As for the specifics, I will take you to meet Empress Leng, who will give you an answer. But for now, make your choice." Those willing to accept this task stepped forward. Commander Hong said. The 3-clawed blood eagle guards started to consider it. This hell-level mission was more dangerous than any missions they had received. It was near certain death. Nevertheless, dangers were accompanied by opportunities. The guards would gain amazing rewards if they completed the task. Because of this, these 3-clawed blood eagle guards were somewhat hesitant. But soon, someone stepped forward. The first person was the young man with a pale face. Commander Hong smiled. Obviously, he was not surprised. "Jiao Zue, I knew that you would come out as long as this matter is related to Her Majesty the Princess," Hong Tong said with a faint smile. The young man called Jiao Zue shrugged his shoulders. He looked relaxed, but there was an undisguised fever of excitement in his eyes. Then 4 other guards came forward in succession, including Jian Wushuang. Chapter 848, Zi Jiao. Chapter 848, Zi Jiao. Commander Hong saw the 5 guards come forward and said with a frown, "This task is not a trivial matter. I don't want more 3-clawed blood eagle guards to sacrifice themselves for it. So the number of people on this mission is limited to 4. Upon hearing this, some 3-clawed blood eagle guards gave an odd expression. 5 guards were willing to accept this mission, but only 4 of them had an opportunity to perform this task. Jiao Zue definitely wants to go. What about the others? Ling Long. Commander Hong smiled at a beautiful woman with long aquamarine hair. This woman looked gorgeous and had a perfect figure. She was Ling Long, and she had gained a great reputation among the 3-clawed blood eagle guards. "I have been taking catastrophe-level missions. It's utterly boring. I have rarely encountered a hell-level task. How could I miss it?" This glamorous lady laughed with tinkling, bell-like voice. "Zi Jiao, Shui Jin, what about you?" Commander Hong asked. Zi Jiao, looking indifferent, stepped forward and said in a low voice, "Seek fortune in danger. Since this is such a great opportunity, I have to try." "Right." Shui Jin also nodded in agreement. Commander Hong nodded slightly, and then faced the last of the 5. This man was Jian Wushuang. "Blood Mountain, will you also take this hell-level mission?" Commander Hong frowned. "Yes." Jian Wushuang nodded respectfully but confidently. "Do you know how dangerous the hell-level mission is?" You have not joined us for long, but you improved greatly. As long as you keep going at this rate, you'll have a brilliant future. Why do you want to take such a dangerous mission?" Hong Tong asked seriously. "Commander, it is just like you said. Why did I join the Blood Eagle Guard in the first place? Honestly, I should have stayed in the Dragon Guard and keep order in the Imperial Palace. Wouldn't it be more comfortable?" Jian Wushuang replied. Commander Hong was stunned but shrugged his shoulders with resignation. "You're right. Joining our Blood Eagle Guard means adventure. But now all 5 of you want to take this hell-level mission. But this task is limited to 4 people. So one of you has to give it up. What shall we do?" "Commander, it's simple." The cold and stern Diao suddenly spoke in a resonant, frosty voice. "The hell-level mission is dangerous. Those who are not strong enough will die. So naturally, the stronger ones would be qualified to go, and the weaker should remain." Upon hearing this, the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards nodded to themselves. No matter where they were, those who were powerful should be respected. "Blood Mountain." Jiao looked over at Jian Wushuang and said in his icy voice, "You've just become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. You haven't encountered any difficult catastrophe-level missions. Are you qualified to go with us? So, be tactful and stand back. Don't disgrace yourself." Jiao's sonorous words were full of contempt for Jian Wushuang. Jiao was the elder of the Blood Eagle Guard. He had been in the Guard for such a long time, and the time he spent in the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard was much longer than any of the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards present. But his strength was not good, and he barely ranked in the middle of them. This really upset him. He was jealous of the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards who were less experienced than him, but stronger. He was a narrow-minded man. It was surprising that such a man could be so conceited. Because of this, he had almost no friends among the Blood Eagle Guards. But usually no one dared to offend him at will. Jian Wushuang had risen so fast. It only took him 15 years to become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard. In the Guard, this was almost considered legendary. Jiao had also heard of Jian Wushuang's meteoric rise, so he envied the boy too. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang stayed looking indifferent. He glanced around and found the other 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards were staring at him with interest. The experts should be respected in the Blood Eagle Guard. Most of the 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards had been in the Blood Eagle Guard for a long time and had completed numerous tasks, so they had proved their strength. Jian Wushuang had just become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guard, so they were not familiar with him, and only heard that he had been finishing tasks alone like crazy over the past 15 years. Based solely on this, these 3-claw Blood Eagle Guards did yet not truly believe in his strength. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes and said unhurriedly, "You're right, the weak can't participate in this mission. But how do you know that I am the weakest one and not you?" "Boy, what do you mean?" Jiao responded with cold eyes, like a raging lion. "What do I mean?" Jian Wushuang grinned. A flicker of killing intense flashed in his eyes. Buzz. An invisible sword shadow materialized in the void, and then slashed at Jiao's head. This sword shadow moved so fast that an ordinary Eternal Realm expert would have been unable to parry it in time. However, Jiao, at the peak of Step 6 of the Eternal Realm, reacted with ease. He let out a shout, and the shock wave it dispersed shattered the sword shadow. "Kid, how dare you?" Jiao's eyes were blazing with fury with his hair on his body stood up. At the same time, a purple thunderbolt saber appeared in his hand. Jiao held his saber, radiating a mighty aura. Then he stepped forward and appeared in front of his opponent. Jian Wushuang had already activated the bloodline power. In a split second, he had turned into a 15-meter-tall, gold-armored ancient god. Fortunately, the Scarlet Palace was huge enough to hold his body. His aura burst out as a 12-meter long sword appeared in his hand. Chapter 849, Lost. Chapter 849, Lost. The scarlet sword looked like an endless sea of blood. It was the Blood Mountain sword. His current opponent was actually a real expert who has mastered the peak of Step 6, so he did not dare to take him lightly and naturally used his full strength. Seeing Jian Wushuang fighting Zijiao, Commander Hong frowned, but he did not stop them. The other three-clawed blood eagle guard tacitly left a space for them. Die! Zijiao was a hard and cruel man. As he gritted his teeth, his eyes burst out his hidden intent to kill. When he appeared in front of his opponent, Zijiao swung his saber. Hiss! The blade light easily tore the void and caused a huge rift of space. The speed was even more incredible. Faced with the strike, Jian Wushuang was composed as he moved his wrist to block the blade light with his Blood Mountain sword. Clang! A loud boom was heard. Two powerful strikes crashed head-to-head. He actually blocked my attack. Zijiao showed a hint of surprise. His saber technique was famous for its speed and fierceness. At that moment, he had used his full strength to unleash the blade light, which moved so fast that an ordinary expert at Step 6 of the Eternal Realm found it hard to deflect it, but Jian Wushuang had succeeded in blocking it. Of course, Zijiao did not take it seriously. With a snort, his fierce saber technique broke out directly. Swish, 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 swish. Streaks of blade light flashed like lightning. It moved so fast that people could not see it clearly. In a short span of time, Zijiao launched a frenzied saber attack, unleashing hundreds of fast and violent strikes. Jian Wushuang remained indifferent despite having faced an extremely offensive attack. He naturally picked up his long sword and defended himself. Zijiao attacked furiously, and Jian Wushuang defended itself. Clang! 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 Within a short breath of time, the two guards had already fought hundreds of times. Each time they had caused a huge roar, which shattered the decorations in the palace. Fortunately, this palace was refined by Commander Hong, so they were unable to destroy it. Amidst high-speed collisions, the fierce battle continued. Zijiao had already tried his best, but all his attacks were easily resisted by Jian Wushuang. Boy, how is this possible? Zijiao shot Jian Wushuang an astonished glance, but soon the rage in his eyes soared. Eagle killing, a spiritual force gushed out. Shua, a blade light suddenly appeared as if an eagle opened its wings and rushed to its prey. It ruthlessly lashed out, leaving a huge crack in the sky. It was so fast that many of the other three-clawed blood eagle guards in the surrounding area were surprised. This strike was brilliant. Seeing this blade light coming over, Jian Wushuang casually loosed his hand. Then his long sword streaked out and collided with the blade light. Jian Wushuang still parried Zijiao's strongest move using his strongest sword with ease. It's impossible. Zijiao was finally shocked, but this shock quickly turned into madness. I don't believe it. Zijiao growled as his eyes became scarlet. He stepped forward and planned to attack again. But at this time, Jian Wushuang, who had not taken the initiative to strike a blow, suddenly raised his head to throw his opponent an icy glance. The next moment, a weird force swept out. The ancient god secret skill, magical god, the magical god skill that targeted at one's consciousness. After it was reinforced by the divergent bloodstone, the consciousness attack became more powerful. This strike, like an immaterial sharp spike, thrust at Zijiao. Zijiao, who still wanted to fight with Jian Wushuang, had not noticed it at all. Whoosh! The immaterial sharp spike hit Zijiao's consciousness, as if someone knocked his head with a huge drumstick. Zijiao shivered before his eyes immediately became hollow. His consciousness was caught in chaos that was unprecedented, although it only lasted for a second. But in such an instant, Jian Wushuang actually attacked. He waved the long sword to unleash a strike. Strike with the sword. Keep the sword. It was done smoothly. Zijiao's head had already been cut off. His gaze was still empty. When his head landed on the ground, he finally regained his consciousness. Buzz. A lot of spiritual power gathered wildly, and Zijiao's body was combined with his head again. Although Jian Wushuang cleft his head, Zijiao's life core had not been crushed. As an eternal realm expert, Zijiao would not really die. Come to this moment, this fierce battle had ended finally. How is this possible? Zijiao widened his eyes and stared at Jian Wushuang while he murmured. The other three-clawed blood eagle guard all looked at each other with an odd expression. Zijiao had obviously looked down on Jian Wushuang and thought that the new three-clawed blood eagle guard was definitely not powerful. As a result, Jian Wushuang chopped off Zijiao's head, which embarrassed the latter. Boy, you actually have the skill to directly attack people's consciousness? You're sinister. Zijiao's voice echoed in the palace. I can't accept it. Without your insidious methods, you should have lost the fight. You can't accept it? Jian Wushuang's face became frosty. He had shown his mercy, but Zijiao remained somewhat unappreciative. Enough! A shout was heard before the entire hall immediately became quiet. Zijiao still wanted to say something and immediately stopped. He turned his head and looked at Commander Hong. Commander, I am not convinced. Blood Mountain, he just relied on the insidious consciousness attack, but his strength cannot be compared to mine. Oh! Commander Hong threw an icy stare at Zijiao, saying, if Blood Mountain had used his full strength, do you think that you will still be alive? Chapter 854. Chapter 854. If Blood Mountain had used his full strength, do you think that you are still alive? Commander Hong's words tingled Zijiao's heart. Zijiao hemmed and hawed for a while, but could not say half a word at all. Even if he was unwilling to accept it, he was unable to deny what had just happened. If Jian Wushuang had not shown any mercy, Zijiao would have died already. Humph! Commander Hong snorted and yelled, lost is lost, but you still want to defend yourself? Do you think that you'll win if Blood Mountain didn't use a consciousness attack skill? Zijiao was stunned and immediately looked over at his opponent. Jian Wushuang still looked indifferent. The other three-clawed blood eagle guard shot a scornful glance at Zijiao. All of them were experts at the peak of Step 6, so they had seen this fight clearly. Jian Wushuang had always been resisting Zijiao's attack in a calm manner. They all knew that Jian Wushuang had not used his full strength. Jian Wushuang seemingly won the fight because of the consciousness attack. In fact, he was unwilling to expose too many skills, so he chose the simplest way. Even if Jian Wushuang had not done consciousness attack, Zijiao was still unable to defeat him. Blood Mountain is very powerful. He is strong indeed. In fact, he has been defending in the fight and have not shown all his strength, but he easily defeated Zijiao with a casual attack. I'm afraid his real strength ranks in the top 5 among us. Top 5? I don't think so. Maybe top 3. Zijiao lost, but he is not convinced. It's ridiculous. three-clawed blood eagle guards chatted freely, so Jian Wushuang and Zi Jiao were able to hear them. Zi Jiao flushed, his face turning pig liver color. Jian Wushuang still had an indifferent look. It was not a big deal for him to defeat Zi Jiao. 15 years ago, he was able to compete against experts at peak of Step 6 using the Blood Mountain Sword, after a month of cultivation in the Divine Sea. Over the past 15 years, his strength greatly improved through the task training. His sword heart had reached level 4. Even without the Blood Mountain Sword and the mind-controlling secret skill, Jian Wushuang was confident enough to fight against Zi Jiao. Therefore, he easily won this fight. All right. Commander Hong spoke. The entire hall became quiet. As you said, those who are powerful should be respected and qualified to take the Hell-level mission. Now you have lost to Blood Mountain, but if you are not convinced, you can go to challenge Zhou Zue, Linglong, Shui Jin. As long as you can beat any of them, you still have the opportunity to perform this Hell-level mission, Commander Hong said indifferently. Upon hearing this, Zi Jiao's face started to twitch. The 17 three-clawed blood eagle guards had also sparred with each other, so there was also a general ranking of strength about them. Zi Jiao ranked 11th, while Zhou Zue, Linglong, and Shui Jin. Zhou Zue ranked 1st. The other three-clawed blood eagle guard had to confess that they could not match him. Linglong ranked 3rd, and she was known as the most horrible one as she had countless skills. Even Zhou Zue did not dare to challenge her. Shui Jin ranked 8th, 3 levels higher than Zi Jiao. 5 guards stood out at the same time. The reason why Zi Jiao let Jian Wushuang give up was that the other 3 were stronger than him, so he had to bully Jian Wushuang. He did not expect that Jian Wushuang was a tough one. In that case, Zi Jiao had no opportunity to take this task. So, you are not going to challenge them? Commander Hong stared at Zi Jiao while asking. Zi Jiao gritted his teeth, but eventually he shook his head with a wry smile. In this case, the 4 people who will perform the Hell-level mission this time have already been determined: Zhou Zue, Linglong, Shui Jin, and Blood Mountain. Commander Hong announced the result. As for the other guards, go to carry out your previous tasks. Yes, I do. The 3-clawed blood eagle guards who did not accept the Hell-level mission quickly left. Commander Hong stood on the steps while looking at the 4 guards. This mission is not the same as before. 4 of you have good strength, but you'd better do mental preparation for it. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang and the other 3 guards became serious. Commander Hong glided forward and waved at them. Follow me. Commander, where are we going? Zhou Zue could not help but ask. Commander Hong replied, this Hell-level mission is personally released by Empress Leng. I don't know the content of the mission. Therefore, I'll take you to see Empress Leng. Empress Leng? 4 of them were all struck dumb. Empress Leng, one of the 4 emperors in the heyday of the Tang of the East, the real ruler of the Tang of the East, Empress Leng, who had great fame and deterrence in the eternal world. Chapter 851, Empress Leng. Chapter 851, Empress Leng. The sky was azure and as clean as a polished porcelain plate. The imperial palace of the Tang of the East was extremely huge and heavily guarded. The most elite royal guards were responsible for the inner security of the palace, and the weakest of these guards were the Eternal Realm experts. In addition, some important people in the palace were also protected by blood eagle guards. Of course, these were just the forces that could be seen. Many strong people, including Dao Master, also stayed inside to guard the palace in private. Under the guidance of Calm, Idiot, Mander Hong, Jian Wushuang, and the other 3 entered the palace. It's really big. Shui Jin secretly sighed. I have met some of the major forces before, but this is the first time I have come to the imperial palace of the Tang of the East. That's because you only accepted those extremely dangerous and rigorous tasks in order to protect our respective goals. Jiu Zue and I have wanted to live in this palace for a long time. Jiu Zue's dream lover is also in the palace. Linglong laughed casually. Dream lover? Are you talking about the princess who is called the #1 beauty in the eternal world? Shui Jin's eyes lit up. I'm really curious to see how beautiful the princess is. While listening to the two guards talk about Leng Rushuang, Jian Wushuang could not help but glance at Jiu Zue. Jiu Zue smiled slightly. The princess is indeed my life goal, but I know my place. I can't covet a fairy-like lady like her. In that case, why did you step forward when you heard that this mission is related to her? Linglong joked. That's different. Jiu Zue shook his head and solemnly said, what I want is not to be with her, but to do everything I can for her. For me, as long as it is related to her, even if it is a trivial matter, I will give up my life to finish it. Even though the princess doesn't know who I am and what I've done for her, I will still be very happy. Haha, fool. Linglong smirked. Shui Jin was also staring at Jiu Zue as if he was watching a fool, but the latter did not care about it. Jiu Zue was obsessed with Leng Rushuang. He did not ask for anything from her, but he was willing to pay any price, even his own life. Upon hearing this, Jian Wushuang could not help looking at Jiu Zue differently. He sighed inwardly. Idiot! He questioned himself and thought he would never behave like Jiu Zue, silently giving up everything for someone but not asking for the slightest return. We're here. Commander Hong suddenly stopped for a moment before gliding toward a magnificent temple. Jian Wushuang and the other 3 guards immediately followed. The splendid hall was very spacious with 6 huge columns placed on each side. Each of the columns was paired with a golden dragon. In front of the main hall, there were 9 great steps which represented the position of the emperor. On the top step, there was an ornate golden throne with an upright figure sitting on it. This figure was wearing a golden silk feather robe and a golden double phoenix crown. She looked stunning, with a dignified, mature temperament. Most importantly, her beautiful face was filled with the aura of an emperor. She was a peerless beauty. She not only looked like an unattainable phoenix on a branch, but she also left the impression of a creepy, poisonous scorpion hiding in the dark. She was Empress Leng. She is Leng Rushuang's mother and the wife of Emperor Shao. Jian Wushuang stepped into the hall and could not help but look up at Empress Leng, who happened to meet his gaze. Jian Wushuang felt as if his heart was going to freeze and his back was completely soaked with sweat. Such a simple glance had terrified him. Awful, this woman is terrifying. Jian Wushuang thought in terror. When Jian Wushuang saw Emperor Shao, a supreme existence in the eternal world, he felt the emperor was stately but very kind, so he had a good impression of him. But this Empress Leng, the look in her eyes alone was enough to make others surrender. Perhaps when speaking of strength, Empress Leng was not comparable to Emperor Shao, but in Jian Wushuang's eyes, Empress Leng seemed to be 100 times more horrifying than Emperor Shao. Empress Leng, I have brought the 4 3-clawed Blood Eagle Guards who will take on this hell-level mission. Commander Hong, a Dao master, addressed Empress Leng with respect. A moment later, Empress Leng stood up from the throne. She was almost 2 meters tall, with a perfect shape. Even Linglong, a great beauty, was overshadowed by Emperor Leng. Jian Wushuang had met countless gorgeous ladies before, but he thought only Leng Rushuang could match her mother, Empress Leng, in aspects of appearance, figure, and temperament. Sure enough, Girls are like their mother. Jian Wushuang could not help but sigh. Empress Leng looked at them, one by one, with her cold eyes. The moment Zhou Zue, Ling Long, Shui Jin made eye contact with Empress Leng, they involuntarily lowered their heads. Empress Leng eventually fixed her eyes on Jian Wushuang as an icy aura swept out from her. "Oh, you almost fooled me." Empress Leng's voice became very cold. She glanced at Commander Hong and said, "Commander Hong, you picked 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards, but why is a Divine Realm expert standing here?" "What?" Commander Hong was shocked. Zhou Zue, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were also horrified. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang was astonished. A Divine Realm expert. She recognized that I am a Divine Realm expert. Chapter 852, The Dragon Phoenix Fruit. Chapter 852, The Dragon Phoenix Fruit. A Divine Realm expert. Commander Hong and the other guards all looked over at Jian Wushuang. Blood Mountain, he is a Divine Realm expert. How is this possible? The 4 people, including Commander Hong, were a bit dumbfounded. Jian Wushuang was a Divine Realm expert. A Divine Realm expert became a 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard. A Divine Realm expert was able to complete a catastrophe-level task alone. A Divine Realm expert was able to easily defeat Diao. How could such a Divine Realm expert exist in the world? Under everyone's gaze, Jian Wushuang had a wry smile. He was only a Divine Realm expert, but he had used the Yin-Yang mirror to hide his aura. The Yin-Yang mirror was indeed extraordinary. Ordinary Diao masters were unable to see through him. Even Commander Hong had not discovered the truth. However, Empress Leng, one of the 4 emperors of the Tang of the East, was a supreme Diao master. Faced with such a super expert, the Yin-Yang mirror was useless. Jian Wushuang had no intention to defend himself, and said directly, "Empress Leng, I am indeed a Divine Realm expert, but I am also a 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard." "Oh." Empress Leng looked at Commander Hong. Empress Leng, Blood Mountain indeed relied on his own ability to complete all kinds of difficult tasks and become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard. He also beat another 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard, so his strength is good, Commander Hong said. Since his strength is fine, then forget it, but it is rare that a Divine Realm expert can become a 3-clawed Blood Eagle guard, Empress Leng said in a flat, toneless voice. But Zhou Zue, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were rocked to their core. They had also seen a lot of Divine Realm experts. The powerful Divine Realm experts they have met in the eternal world usually had Step 4 battle strength. Even Xia Yan, the #1 Divine Realm expert, barely possessed Step 5 battle strength. Nevertheless, there was a huge gap between Xia Yan and Jian Wushuang. They never imagined that a Divine Realm expert would have battle strength at the peak of Step 6. This had never happened in the history of the eternal world. Jian Wushuang was absolutely the strongest Divine Realm expert. Well, let's get back to business. Empress Leng looked down. I requested for you this time because of a special task. As for the contents of the task, wait here a moment and someone will explain it to you. Jian Wushuang was waiting quietly in the hall with his fellow guards, who threw a quick glance at him from time to time. Not long after, a figure stepped in. It was a big fat man in a luxurious robe who wore a variety of gems. His face was just as large as a watermelon. The fatty went straight to the steps and respectfully bowed. I pay my respects to Empress Leng. Rise. Empress Leng waved her hand. The fatty could not help but look at the people standing next to him. Jian Wushuang also glanced at the fatty. They were both shocked. Both of them were ecstatic. Ha ha, third brother. The fatty directly let out a hearty laugh. Big brother Wang Yuan. Jian Wushuang was also pleasantly surprised. Yes, this fatty was Jian Wushuang's sworn brother, Wang Yuan. In this world, Jian Wushuang had few valued friends, but his 3 sworn brothers were an exception. Jian Wushuang had met Yang Zishuan on Circe's Island. Now, in this palace of the Tang of the East, he had encountered Wang Yuan. "How, you know each other?" A cold voice, containing endless majesty, echoed throughout the palace. Jian Wushuang and Wang Yuan immediately realized they had overreacted and started to reign in their ecstasy. Wang Yuan replied, "Empress Leng, this is my good brother from the ancient world. He left the ancient world alone many years ago, and I haven't seen him since. Meeting each other again, like this was a surprise. I forgot myself, so I'm sorry. I hope you won't blame me." "No problem." Empress Leng waved her hand. "You can tell them about this mission now." "Okay." Wang Yuan nodded, then turned to tell them the details. But at this moment his brow was locked and his look was somewhat complicated. He did not expect that Jian Wushuang would get involved in this matter. This mission was so dangerous that death was almost guaranteed. Wang Yuan spoke. "This mission is related to the princess. The princess's constitution is very unique. Because of this, she has been tortured by a deadly poison for a long time. Nothing can detoxify her body, but her current condition has deteriorated to a new level. So the princess needs an elixir to stabilize her condition, but this elixir is at an extremely high level that is beyond your imagination. Throughout the eternal world, there are less than 3 people who are able to refine this elixir. Even the materials for refining this elixir are rare. We can get all of them, except one of the most precious and important materials, the dragon phoenix fruit." Dragon phoenix fruit? Jian Wushuang was intrigued. He had never heard of it. However, even the Tang of the East was unable to obtain this dragon phoenix fruit, which meant that this fruit was really rare and precious. This dragon phoenix fruit has almost disappeared in the eternal world. Many years ago, the Tang of the East sent people to secretly search for it, but no news about it was discovered. Until recently, that is. We've heard that a long time ago, an eternal realm expert called Kong Ming received a dragon phoenix fruit by chance. We found out that Kong Ming was hunted 50,000 years ago, and he fled into stellar Fog Sea. But after that, there was no trace. Your mission is to go to stellar Fog Sea, find Kong Ming, and get the dragon phoenix fruit from him. Chapter 853, Stellar Fog Sea. Chapter 853, Stellar Fog Sea. Wang Yuan spoke very casually. They just had to go to stellar Fog Sea, find Kong Ming, and get the dragon phoenix fruit from him. Everyone was shocked when they heard him mention the stellar Fog Sea. Even Jian Wushuang shivered. Stellar Fog Sea. Before Jian Wushuang left the firmament territory, his senior brother Shui Lingtian gave him an incomparably detailed star map which recorded numerous territories of the eternal world, including many naturally perilous places. Among the naturally perilous places, there were 5 famous ones. The 5 places were regarded as the 5 most dangerous places in the eternal world. Even Dao masters were afraid of them. The Stellar Fog Sea was one of the 5 dangerous places, ranking 2nd place. Jian Wushuang had carefully read the information about the 5 dangerous places. The Stellar Fog Sea, also known as the Terminating Sea, was very peculiar. Anyone who was above a Dao master was unable to enter it. Many powerful Dao masters had tried to explore the Stellar Fog Sea, but as soon as they stepped into it, they would naturally come out after a while. They were only able to explore the outer perimeter. As for the Eternal Realm or Divine Realm experts, they were able to go inside. However, none of them had ever walked out. in order to gain opportunities or survive. Many experts had tried to escape into the stellar fog sea, but no one had ever gotten out, which illustrated its horror and mystery. Jian Wushuang did not expect that this hell-level mission would be so dangerous, and that he would be going to the stellar fog sea. Jiao Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin also paled. Ling Long and Shui Jin even regretted accepting this hell-level task. However, it was too late to go back on their promise now that they had met Empress Leng and learned about the mission. Now, you know what it is about. Empress Leng stood on the steps while looking at them. Of course, this task is extraordinary, so I will also give you a year to prepare. During this year, you can do whatever you want in the time remaining. Empress Leng waved her hands, and 4 halos landed on the 4 guards, giving them no chance to struggle. The 4 halos were implanted in their bodies. I've put a restriction in your bodies. During this year, you're forbidden from disclosing the contents of this mission to anyone, and all of you must head for Stellar Fog Sea when the time limit is up. If you go back on your promise, this restriction will kill you directly, Empress Leng said coldly. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang and the other 3 were stunned. Empress Leng was really vicious. She actually forced them to carry out the task with a restriction. With this restriction, it was obviously impossible for them to quit. Empress Leng continued speaking. In addition, considering that this mission is very important, and in order to give you a better chance of finishing this mission, I will offer you some rewards in advance. Upon hearing this, the 4 guards who were obviously excited about receiving payment ahead of time re-raised their heads. For this mission, each of you will be given an Emperor weapon. Emperor weapon? The eyes of Jiao Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin lit up. Under normal circumstances, only Diao masters were usually equipped with Emperor weapons. Very few Eternal Realm experts had one. Only Eternal Realm experts, who had heaven-defying strength and paid a huge price, would be able to obtain an Emperor weapon. Of course, those who had a good enough background could also obtain one. Therefore, Emperor weapons were extravagant hopes for ordinary Eternal Realm experts. As 3-clawed Blood Eagle guards, Jiao Zui, Ling Long, and Shui Jin were qualified to acquire Emperor weapons, but they needed to pay too many points, so until now none of them possessed an Emperor weapon. They also yearned for an Emperor weapon. After all, a suitable Emperor weapon would cause a big improvement in their strength. Say it, what kind of Emperor weapon do you want? Empress Leng looked down at the 4 guards below. Jiao Zui responded, Empress Leng, I need a long spear, one that is as heavy as possible. I need a long whip. No other requirement, as long as it's easy to use. Ling Long also said. Shui Jin continued, I want an extremely sharp saber. The 3 of them did not hesitate to choose the most suitable Emperor weapon for them, which also helped to slightly relieve their fear of the stellar fog sea. What about you? Empress Leng looked over at Jian Wushuang with her cold eyes. Jian Wushuang frowned at the moment. After he noticed Empress Leng's gaze, he deliberated for a while and said, Empress Leng, I would like to ask if I can change the reward, because an Emperor weapon is useless to me. He was telling the truth. His master, Xian Yi, had given him the Blood Mountain Sword, which was not only the mighty but also had the ability to suppress others. Ordinary Emperor weapons could not compare to his sword. Therefore, Jian Wushuang did not need another Emperor weapon. It seems you already have an appropriate Emperor weapon. Empress Leng threw him a significant glance, which struck his heart. You can ask for something which is equivalent to an Emperor weapon. Speak, what do you want? Empress Leng asked in an icy tone. Jian Wushuang was deep in thought. For now, he had the Blood Mountain Sword for attack and the Blood Eagle armor for defense. As for any other special treasures, He did not need them at present. He also had a lot of secret skills. After debating with himself, for a while, Jian Wushuang finally made a decision. He asked, "Empress Leng, can I go to the Divine Sea again?"